Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Dungeon Master this evening, or this morning, or this afternoon, wherever this finds you, whenever this finds you. Today, we are carrying on with our ongoing quarantine campaign, playing Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition, the backwards edition, playing through 2013's very cool Legacy of the Crystal Shard campaign. Ooh, there we go. We are also drawing quite a bit of material from Wizards of the Coast at the time of recording most recent adventure release. Actually, that's not true anymore because Candlekeep's out. We're playing with Wizards of the Coast's Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden. If you are intending on playing Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden at some point, the session will likely contain spoilers for that, so if you do want to play, maybe come back at another time. If you don't care, or if you're intending on running Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden, well then welcome! Let me introduce you to the stars of our Legacy of the Crystal Shard campaign, the Quarantine Crusaders themselves. I'll go the order I got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what level are you currently? First up, we have Andrew.
Hello everybody, I'm Andrew. I am playing Kola Hammerstone, a 6th level... Wait, no, that's not true. A 7th level Dwarven Specialty Priest of Clangeddon.
Very nice. Next up is Arlen.
Hi, I'm Arlen. I'm playing Gorwin, who is a 6th level elven fighter.
Very nice. Next up is Mo.
Hi, I'm Morris. I'm playing Thomas, an 8th level fighter.
Excellent. Next up is John.
Hello, I am John, and I'm playing Falcarel Hawkfriend. He's a half-elven ranger cleric of Solinar. He is level 7 in both classes.
Nice. And last but certainly not least is our resident armor smith, Dave.
Hey everyone, I am playing Lex Empty Quiver Wiltshire. He is a half-elven 7th level ranger of my league.
Nice. So guys, last time, so the time of recording, it has been about 2 weeks since we played last, and we have played a lot of games in between. But there was at least one memorable event that happened last time. What was that, guys?
The death and resurrection of Tom. Our first character death.
How did that happen?
Well, we saw a frost giant about to send his wolves after our griffins, and we were like, nope, that's not happening. Got into a scuffle with him, and Tom got close and got thrown off a cliff onto a floating boat, and
iceberg. He got thrown into the ocean and happened to land on an iceberg.
Oh yeah, then we took him to a boat after that.
Yeah.
We drove the frost giant off and spent the next 7 days recovering from. Tom was resurrected. Cole had to rest for 7 days. We luckily got away with no encounters, and then decided to fly back and see if we can explore towards the tower.
There's some weird, heavy-handed biblical imagery going on in this summary. Yes. Death and resurrection, resting after 7 days.
Well, it was about Easter, wasn't it?
It was Easter, actually, yes.
Easter Sunday. And we were flying, and a white dragon decided to come out of nowhere and attack us. So we took to the ground, tried to set up a defense, and it's pretty much coming by, hitting us with breath weapon and flying off again.
Yeah.
That's where we left off.
Now, I also think, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, I'm pretty sure that the wind is so high that you guys are taking penalties. Either you're taking penalties or you simply cannot use... Well, you can fly, so it's not that you can't use them. It's what, -4?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, with that in mind, fellers, let's head on over to our battle mat. So this is where I've just placed the other heroes, the late arrivals here, sort of on the next to your griffins. But the dragon has just made a pass and sort of sprayed everyone. Let's grab our initiative dice.
Oh, the visibility sucks.
What sucks?
The visibility.
Turnabout's fair play, Dorman.
Visibility sucks, and we take a penalty to attack with arrows.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
It is a dragon, so you think non-magic weapons are going to hurt it?
Oh, it's not. What do you call it? It's not metagaming. When it's a game that you're not familiar with, rarely ends up with a good result for you. Just FYI.
Oh, I don't know. I'm assuming.
Yeah. So the what do you call it? Yeah. Let's roll initiative here. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is that the blizzard. There is a blizzard going on as well. So the blowing snow means that as soon as this thing gets, 60 feet or whatever away from you, it disappears into the... It doesn't help that it's mostly white.
Yeah, that's what I think we're talking about with the visibility.
Yeah.
The visibility is the suck right now.
Yep. All right, then, guys. Let's have everyone decide what you're going to do with your round. And then... let's see here. We'll start off with... I'll go left to right here. Andrew, would you kind of beat my 2, please?
No, definitely not.
So I'm acting on a 2. Let me.
No, I don't think I had anything. Oh, I've already cast it. Damn. Wait, did I take a second one? Come on, tell me I was smart. Of course I didn't. Of course. Okay, great.
And are we near anything like structures or caves or anything?
What you
like
can
that?
see is what you can see. You guys sort of came down immediately, and it's on right near the coastline. All right. So then, first up is Gorwin and Kola. What are you guys doing?
So I am going to, I've got my griffin here. I'm going to, lead it as best as possible, I guess, over towards this area. How far can the griffin move on the ground?
On the ground, I think it's same as human. I think.
Okay. Well, then we can move over to, let me count the squares.
I've got ground 40 for griffins.
Yeah, so it's human.
1, 2.
And I've also
squares.
noticed, I think some of us failed our save from the dragon fear.
5. And there.
Oh, yeah.
So we're moving over to get kind of as much kind of in the lee of the cliff side as possible right now to hopefully be only facing attacks from one direction.
Yeah, I'm going to go over here.
Okay. Then
yeah.
Okay. Next is Kola. I'm sorry, is Falcarol. What are you doing, Falcarol?
Well, I'm going to try and prepare an action to move towards it if it lands.
So that's not attacking, FYI.
Yeah, I need to get close to it. So.
Okay, so you're... All right. Then it is Lex.
It looks like Lex is kind of against the wall already. So he'll notch an arrow, and he's going to, I don't know, try and hit the dragon with an arrow if it comes by.
Okay. Then it is Tom.
I'm going to move to there to avoid being in a line. And I'm going to shoot... Where's Typhoon gone? Oh, he's hiding around there. Okay, he'll stay there.
Yep.
So again, I'm readying an arrow to see if it comes through and try and shoot it.
All right. So, guys, your eyes are studying the snow-filled skies. Can't see it. Next round. All right. And then, Arlen, we're off to you. Sheepers. You kind of beat my 1. That'll not do it.
Initiative's 1 better.
Okay.
I don't know.
Great. So first up, we've got Falcarol. What are you doing, Falcarol?
Move out into the open a little bit more. And with my halberd in reach from last session, I'm going to just wait to see it and try to hit it if it comes down.
Okay. Then it is Cola and Lex. What are you guys doing? Okay.
Same as last time.
This is gonna be weird. I'm gonna kind of hunker into the wall and just do a quiet, not the spell prayer, but just pray to Clangeddon.
Slamming his head against the wall. Oh God, we're gonna die! Help me!
Oh, maybe. But like, do I try to see and ask for some sort of guidance from Clangeddon to see if, well, actually, maybe Baragor would be better if there is anything unnatural about this weather.
Baragor.
Not Baragor. Damn, this is the second time I've done it.
I will tell you, the long distance rates to Greyhawk are brutal. So,
Baronar is the one I'm thinking of. The god. Not the dwarf, the god.
you're not making use. There's no spell you're making use of to try and do that.
I don't have. There is no spell to make use of that. It's literally just I'm just trying to RP this a bit. I don't know.
Isn't that what augury does?
I don't have a detect magic prepared, so I'm.
Yeah, no. So you're slamming yourself against the.
I'm just bracing
the wall.
myself. Basically,
Yeah.
it's the only mechanical thing I am doing this turn.
Okay. All right.
I have
Gorwin.
no spells.
Gorwin and Tom, what are you guys doing?
Same as last term. I'm effectively scanning the sky with the bow ready to shoot.
Okay. And then, what about Gorwin?
So I am reaching back, grabbing 8 arrows apparently from my quiver as I walk out here, and I'm gonna stab them down into the ground next turn to have some planted arrows.
Okay. And they're moving, like quivering back and forth in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You can hear a cry, almost like it feels like it's almost directly above you, as that dragon's screech comes back again. But you do not see it. Next round. All right, then it's Mo. We're going to run in the full gauntlet today. Mo, would you kindly beat my 4?
On.
Nope.
9, 8, 7. We're getting there.
Yep.
3 more rounds, we might beat you.
All right. Okay. Then, let's see here. First up is Cola. What are you doing, Cola?
I put it in 9 because I don't have anything to do, but I do have a question. The Ring of Mud. The notes here says Earth and Water, -1 from Earth Water attacks. Okay, fine. And -1 from each damage day bracket saves versus fire air attacks. Do you recall? I don't know what the hell that means. Do you recall?
So what it means, if I'm rolling an 8d6 fireball on you, I would be subtracting 8 from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Otherwise, Cola. I'm tapped out, guys. So this is it. I'm sitting here.
Game over, man. Game over.
I gotta think about something.
Cola is now played by the late great. What's his name?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah, Bill Paxton. Did you know Bill Paxton was in a band in the 80s?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Is in a band. I can't remember what the band's name is, but the song is called How Can the oh God. How can the
Looking it up
laboring
right now.
man, yeah.
They're called the.
He's
Dead
also one of
Adventurers.
the 3 thugs that Arnold killed in
yeah.
the first Terminator movie for the clothes, which I didn't know because I don't remember if he's credited for that.
Yeah.
But
Oh, he is.
if
Oh,
you
yeah.
pay attention to him.
Was his band called the Dead Adventurers?
Nope. No, it's gonna bug me if I don't, because it's such a strange title for it.
Oh. Huh. Okay.
Hold on.
Oh. Okay. Plans forming.
Martini Ranch?
Yes. Yes, that's his band, Martini Ranch. What is the song called again?
Reach.
How can the something man?
Laboring man.
How can the laboring man make sense of something? Like it's such a cumbersome name for the song too. And it's the video for it's hilarious because this is strange like Metropolis inspired thing. Anyway, so how can the laboring man find time for self-comfort? Isn't that what it's called?
It's called Laboring Man. I don't know what the lyrics
Oh, okay. So the Falcroll, you're up next. What are you doing?
I'm going to stop right there and prepare an action to, attack the dragon if it comes within reach.
All right. And then, so Lex would be on a 13. However, out of the swirling snow, this massive dragon sweeps down. And, let's see here. The cone will catch Lex, Violet, Tom, and Bastard, I think, and I think that's it. Yeah, so let's see here. Oh. Cool, I got good news for you.
Great.
Okay, so it's there. It's 5 feet wide. All right. Oh, actually, no. So it's only... If he's going this, because I was planning on firing in this direction. So, Lex, Violet, Tom, Bastard, and Cola. I need you to each make a save versus breath weapon, please.
I thought you said you had good news for me.
I do have good news. You have newfound purpose again. Okay.
Great.
And the despair bonus affects this as well, presumably.
The witch does?
The despair bonus, because I failed my dragon fear one.
Oh, shit. Then it does, yeah.
I don't know that so much as a bonus
Oh.
then.
Oh, that means Lex and Gorwin, I need to... save versus...
Paralyzation.
Still a success,
yeah,
though.
I think it's paralyzation or petrification. Paralyzation or polymorph.
Oh, not breath?
Those are two different.
Well, no, I need
Oh.
you guys also need to do that.
Oh,
sorry,
right.
petrification or polymorph is the one you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paralyzation and polymorph are two different. Petrification or polymorph is
Yeah.
the
So,
one.
how'd you
But
guys do for the
do that
petrification?
for a fear save?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I just rolled an 18. Now
Alright.
I'm gonna fail.
No, you can keep the 18, Steve or Jeff. That's okay.
Oops, sorry.
Go on,
in
everyone
that
under the
case-
sun. All right, so
Okay.
Gorwin failed. That means you are stricken with fear, and you have -2 to attack and damage rolls.
I probably could have told you the first part myself.
Yeah. All right,
So
then
Lex and its Griffin made saves? I don't know.
say again.
The Griffin had to make a save too, right?
Griffin has to make a save as well too.
Oh.
So, in Lex, how did you do on your save versus breath weapon?
At the top, success,
Oh, nice.
and then paralyzation, petrification. I
Great.
just saved them all.
Okay, so Cola failed.
Oh, no, sorry, my Typhoon wasn't in, was he?
No,
sorry, what am I doing?
Just Violet and Bastard. So I need a save from each of the guys. How many hit dice does a Griffin have?
It has, I think, 7.
7? Okay.
Yes.
So save for the Griffin is going to be 12 or higher.
20?
Nice. Yep. Okay. And then Cola, I need a save from a D20 roll from you too. Oh no, Bastard. Who's Bastard? Oh, that is Cola's. Yeah.
That's mine.
So I need a D20 roll from you, please. Uh-oh. All
Roll
right.
20's not a fan of me today.
Okay. All right. So then that means... Oh, boy. Those who failed take 18 points of damage. Those who succeeded take 9. And this thing is 10 feet above the ground. All right. Now, because it's appeared as well, Lex and Tom, you both get to make a shot. Remember, it's -4 because of the weather, on top of the -2 if you're suffering from any dragon fear. Which is really only Gorwin. Gorwin, did you have... Oh, no, you were planting arrows last time. Okay. That's going to... carried off by the wind. And unfortunately not close. I think probably you did actually connect with it. It's just that it shatters on its dragon hide. All right, guys. Then next up is holy shit, bastard's in bad shape. Lex, you're up next. What are you doing?
Fire again.
Go right ahead.
-4 for the win.
Yep. Shatters on its hide as well. Then it is Gorwin on 14. What are you doing?
I mean, it seems like I ought to shoot at this thing.
Yep.
Is it possible to try to like hit the wing where it's sort of leathery rather than try to hit like center of mass where it's scaly?
You could try.
I guess I'm wondering is more like based on its flight pattern. Like if its wings are kind of horizontal with the parallel with the ground, then there's not really much to hit. Versus if it's like reared back like a helicopter.
Let me just put it this way: there's the combat's too abstracted to try and get a bonus. Yeah, so you can try like if you want to try and have an effect like to affect its ability to fly, that's a called shot. But otherwise, no.
Okay. Well then, sure, might as well, right? I might roll a 20.
Yeah. So the called shot for this then would be a minus. Let's see here. -6 to hit arms or legs, and this is not reflected like obviously it's a broadside of a barn kind of thing. This is trying to hit something tender or important, right? That's why it's that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so it's a -10 net, I guess. Come on, Bard the Bowman, let's go.
I got pretty close for
not
as
bad
as.
Yep. All right, so you fire, it goes wide. Then it is Tom. What are you doing, Tom?
Well, Tom was moving to pick up his halberd, but keeping his bow out. So,
okay.
Can I shoot before I move?
Absolutely not. You declared your action, so you can't change it to no.
So I'd end up sort of about there next to Gorwin.
Yep.
And then I'd shoot at.
Well, no, you just said that your action was to go and pick up the halberd. You can't change that to then attack with an.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's why we declare actions. So then it is second shots from Gorwin and all the archers basically.
I already took mine, I think. So.
But didn't you shoot?
That was your first.
Yeah. Remember, rate of fire is 2.
I know, but somehow you told Lex to take a second shot. I took my second shot already and missed.
Right, because you had a ready to action. That was your first shot. Then you had your turn where you took your actual shot on your turn, and then you.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready. Yeah.
So go ahead, guys.
And
I'm going to keep doing the same thing. Try to get it somewhere tender.
Okay.
-10.
No.
Hey, we're doing called shots. I like called shots.
Okay. Okay. Isn't there is a proficiency that gives you a bonus with called shots, isn't it?
I will look it up.
I thought one of the new things I introduced.
I've got a spell for that, but I'm not using a bow.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. All right, and then is that everyone's shots? Okay, Falcor, what did you do this turn?
I ready to attack if it got near me.
Oh no, but on your actual action.
I moved in ready to
Oh,
attack.
right, because you were on 11. Shit. Right, you were too quick. All right, guys. So then that is the end of the round. Next round. So this is round 4. John, it's up to you now. So everyone decide what you're going to do with your round. And then, John, would you kindly beat my 3? Tied.
Gotcha.
I am acting on a 3.
Well, hopefully you'll still be in sight.
What is it to mount your griffin?
Mounting Griffin will say is a 3 as well. Actually, I think that's a 5. That's probably... Yeah, probably a 5.
Maybe I'll
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm an 8.
Okay.
have to do that next round.
All right, so I think it's up first, in which case it flaps its wings, it arcs up, and then disappears once again.
Man, I can't see it 90 yards away.
Not in snow.
Damn it.
When it flew across, was it low enough for someone to hit it with a halberd? If we were underneath it, stabbing upwards?
No, because it was 10 feet up, and then it began climbing after releasing its breath weapon. So, it has once again disappeared into the snow. These are like ideal hunting conditions for a white dragon. So, next is Falcarol. What are you doing?
Well, I was going to command it to land, but it flew off.
So you're not commanding it to land?
Well, I have to shout at it, but now it's gone and doesn't... Yeah.
So you're not commanding it to land then?
No. I cast a spell and it's gone.
Just
Yeah. All right. And so, you know, just this thing does not seem any more maneuverable than what, and probably even less so than what your griffins are. So if you had done that, command only works for 1 round. So if you'd managed to get it off while it was low like that, then maybe it would be able to, and you acted before it, it would be able to slam to the ground. If it's up, it would start going down, and then the command would end. Assuming that magic resistance doesn't come into play, and assuming that saves don't come in. Just so you understand what the mechanical effects are.
I know.
Then it is Cola. What are you doing?
I am going to start making my way to be a little bit closer to my friends in case bad things happen to me. And I totally forgot I had this one more casting of it. So I say a prayer, declaring it in, and my beard goes silver because
Nice.
I don't know why I didn't notice I had a second casting.
All right. And then Lex, what are you doing?
hopping on the back of Violet and yelling and saying, "We're not going to beat it with arrows from the ground. Take it to the skies." And he,
Yeah, it's even better up there. Don't go up there.
Yeah, why do you think we're on the ground?
Is there a reason we can't just fly away, though?
don't the
It's
griffins have attacks? Griffins
Faster than us?
Yeah, but
Griffins
have you-
have attacks. We could
It is-
charge at it and shred it up with their claws.
We did actually try fighting it in the air before.
That's
Yeah.
why Typhoon's at
have you
4.
tried retreating away from it from the air? That's my sort
Yeah.
of question.
Yeah, like I think get the hell
Okay.
out of here kind of thing
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
a good
okay.
idea.
So Lex is hopped on the back of Violet. Then it is Gorwin and Tom. What are you guys doing?
So Gorwin was going to take a shot, but obviously it's not there, so he releases the drawn bow and then moves over to his griffin and says, "Guys, let's just get out of here."
Okay.
And is going to leave a whole bunch of arrows stuck in the ground, apparently.
Okay. Still wavering in the wind. All right, then. So next is, I think that's everybody's turn. We're on to round 5, guys. So, John tied. So then everyone figure out what you want to do with your round. Marines, we are leaving! Then John beat my 6. Nice. Okay.
Said mounting's a 5, so sure. If you guys want to flee, we'll flee.
Falco really just wants to die. He's got a death wish. He's trying to go solo the island.
I
Is there-
honestly don't
is
think
there
we can outrun it.
anybody who has a plan other than fleeing that has a reasonable chance of success? Because
Yeah,
if,
like,
speak now or
John-
forever hold your peace, basically, right?
We
'Cause-
don't have to fight it up in the sky at 100 feet. But if the next time Dragon shows up to do a breath weapon cone on us, we all attack it with our griffin. You're on your griffin and your griffin, or tell your griffin to attack or something.
I don't know what
Griffins
Lex
can-
is talking about. He's clearly been smoking the wacky tobacco, but you know,
I don't think
Gorwin
any of
is saying, "Let's just get out of here and we'll fight another day."
There's
Yeah,
that too.
Tom will say, "Let's just lose it and come back another route. We're not going to win here."
Okay.
Let's go.
So you guys are all screaming. Now let's. Who am I missing? Oh, Lex, I'm missing your action.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. 2 is the
one
initiative
is-
roll. Okay. So then first up is Lex. What are you doing?
Taken to the skies.
All right, and the flying with Violet is what is it, John? You're looking at the.
Oh yeah, I think they got 100-foot
Oh,
movement
great.
speed fly.
Nice.
I
And
was actually going to tie myself in with my rope, but
Okay, so that's yep. Okay, so you tied yourself in.
the turn is 60 degrees.
Then it's Cola, Falcarel, and Gorwin. What are you guys doing?
Hopping
I'm
on
gonna-
the mountain, tying in.
I'm mounting and tying.
You can hear the screech of the white dragon to the north. You can't see it, but it's up there.
Question: healing magic. Does it only work on like humanoid creatures?
No. And you can use it on your pets as well. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I think Bastard might need some help.
We also said, I think we established in this game that animal handling can be used to treat the same way that medicine can for healing can for humans. So,
Oh, good.
the
Okay.
overnight healing, yeah. Okay, so you hop on Bastard. It's shaking, trying to get rid of some of the frost that's formed on its feathers. What about Falcarel and Gorwin? You guys just hopping on your mounts?
Hopping on and tying up.
Okay.
Hopping on and getting ready to take off south, basically.
Okay. All right, so you guys hop on. Tying up is a second action.
I'm not bothering to tie on. I'm just turning basically as my action because I don't want to stick around while everybody else is flying.
Yeah. All right, and then Tom, what are you doing?
I'm mounting up on Typhoon, and I'm then preparing to launch myself off and like get the hell out of here.
Okay. So
Following
that's
Gorwin, I
actually
think.
it's a 5 to mount. Because you got it as a 10.
Well, plus the roll. Oh, sorry, it's
It's a 2.
so it's a 7. Sorry, I should have done that. Yeah,
That's
so,
okay.
Yeah, so I'm mounted, stuck the bow in the sheath,
Yep.
and say, "Come on, let's lose it. We're not going to fight it."
Okay, again, guys, like Mo, that's 2 different actions.
All right, okay, I'll still keep it in my arm
Okay.
hand then.
I appreciate the narrative flourish, but like because action economy is important in this game. Okay, so you are on the back, you got your bow in your hand. Then, guys, that is the end of that round. It does not appear again. Next round. John, do you continue your domination here? Oh, very likely. I got a 9. Get those
as
ones out of the
if to be
system.
like, don't insult me.
We are leaving. All right.
Lion.
Then, Gorwin at a 1, Falcarel 1, Lax 1, Tom 1.
Cola's sticking around. He's going to be the last one, Matt. Last one here.
All right. So what are you guys doing then?
Oh, are we? Is it? Oh,
Gorwin-
yeah, you're right. I thought like telling it to lift up would be like an action. If it's just, if it's no different than moving, then
love the
okay.
idea.
Just move.
Everyone else is like taking off into the sky, and Cole is just like, "Go, you damn thing!" Shaking it.
Why do you
Come
think
on.
I call you bastard?
Yeah, you kick and you hold on and you hope that you don't fall off.
I
That's
think the
point
parking
that we're
brake's
at.
on.
I can't, what's that Vietnam film where the helicopter leaves and it circles around the guy lying on the ground?
Cola has
Platoon.
I can't remember. It's I forget the classical.
Yeah, in Platoon, it's
yeah.
Willem Dafoe
Yes.
and he's dying.
Yeah, there you
and-
go.
Yeah. Speaking of fucking
Cool.
what's up, biblical imagery.
Yep.
Cola hasn't paid his parking tickets, and while we were fighting, someone came along
He's
and
trying to
put a
get rid
clamp
of
on
the
his
end of
griffin.
the boot off.
So you guys fear that frost giant meter maid, I'll tell you. Okay. So a lot of you guys, whoever has taken to the skies, let's put a blue dot on your token, and you can start moving up if you like. All right. So Falcarel is taken to the skies. Everyone is fantastic. Alrighty, guys. So, and Tom is apparently a ninja as well.
Oh, I think that's what we were using for the fear. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay, no, it's usually what we use for invisibility. All right, so you guys are going up, and are you all heading in the same direction? It's to the south, is if you are heading back to your stronghold.
And the dragon's to the north, so we're definitely... Gorwin is heading south, and he's shouting at the top of his lungs, doing his best to say, guys, this way, or something like that, you know.
That's
Yep.
a great one, Tom. Ah!
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Falco's
so
saying,
we're-
stay out of a line, spread out.
All right. So, does anyone have mounted aerial?
No, just mounted.
I'm a dwarf.
I've got a special saddle, that's about it.
Okay, so no one has airborne riding yet.
Nope.
No, we haven't had sufficient downtime for that.
It's not downtime.
No.
Hey, it is
It's on
a
my
poor
list.
craftsman who blames his tools, buddy.
We got these mounts after we had used our proficiencies on other stupid things.
Yeah.
I don't know, stupid things. I got direction sense with my last proficiency. That's pretty
Well,
useful.
and I got
in this
mountaineering, so I guess mountaineering wasn't terrible.
I got blind fight.
Yeah, so not terrible. All right, so you guys can picture the griffins have all taken off into the sky, and you are basically, as soon as you get about 20 feet off, or about 60 feet off the ground, you are once again lost in a world of white. So, let's see. Oh boy, so let's move to the airbound map. Let me grab everyone's tokens here.
I love, like, Kevin's like, you guys have just set yourselves up, made your situation even worse. I'm like,
I know.
No, not
nothing
necessarily.
else we can do.
Not at all. It's frying pan fire,
Pretty
decision
much.
time, right?
Well,
So-
that's it. Like our arrows, we're not hitting the broadside of a barn out here. The only thing that was actually consistently hitting was my spiritual hammer, but it's gone and I don't have it anymore. So we can keep getting hurt, but I'll run out of healing eventually.
Yeah.
Well, and especially if not knowing how dragons work, I don't know if they have like a fuel tank that's going to run low or something, but I kind of doubt it.
So in 2E, just for what do you call it? For your edification, this is one of the changes between first edition, second edition. Is that first edition, it was a certain amount of times per day, and they did a flat. You took their hit points in damage, and then in second they revised it so it's I think it's 1d4 plus 1 turns between the breath weapons. But yeah, they can keep on going.
Yep.
There was stuff. It's cool because they introduced that. I think that they introduced that stuff in the Dragonlance modules to change dragons up, and then they just kind of carried that forward. Dragon Fear was introduced in the Dragonlance modules as well. Okay, so let me move you guys over here.
Guys, I have an idea.
Okay.
Famous
We need
last
to
words.
go. We need to go find ourselves some good dragons to fight the bad dragon.
Yeah,
'Cause That's what
exactly.
they did in the Dragonlance books that I read in middle school.
I need some kind of weapon, perhaps a dragon gun.
Yes, that would be very useful. Have like a heavy machine gun mounted on the back of a silver dragon and just blast that white dragon out of the
Well,
skies.
Oh my
We,
god.
we can't get some dwarven airships or something, can we? Like
Yeah.
fit
All right.
automatic crossbows along the side.
So with you guys once again in air and fleeing to the south, I think what we'll do is I'm looking at the chase rules here. Now you guys do not have the. Does anyone have land-based riding?
Yes, I do.
Okay, no one else? Fantastic. Then you... Alright, so... where is it?
All my skills are like direction sense, weather sense, tracking. It's like survival.
Well, it's tough to predict what's going to be necessary, and there's only so many, you get to go around, so...
Those
Yeah, that's
raptors
why I
are-
put all my stuff into ancient history and ancient languages.
And we'll read Latin to death.
Exactly.
Did you know how to conjugate? Oh. Here we go. Okay, chase. All right, so guys, here's what I'm going to do. Is... So your griffins, guys, each of you give us a... give us a D4 roll. Okay. All right. So take 9, add it to your result. That is what your griffin's constitution is. We're not modifying the hit dice. We're going to assume that that's already incorporated into there, but we're going to use this for the sake of trying to outpace the dragon.
Excuse me.
So, we're going to steal a... okay, so I need to make a sense check for the dragon, see if it can sense where you guys are. Unfortunately...
9.
Say again?
9 plus our roll?
9 plus your roll, yeah.
Excellent.
All right.
I missed that number the first time.
So this thing would be... You can hear a roar of frustration in the background, guys, as this is going. And I think what we'll do is we will... What you need is... let's make a quick roll here. You only need 3 successes. We need 3 things for you to get away from this thing, so it doesn't spot you, it doesn't come. Unfortunately, it is faster than your griffins. So, what is the strategy? Are you just trying to, like, pell-mell and, like, you know, go as fast as you can to get away? And you're all...
I think initially, yeah.
Okay. So then, let's do this. How about everyone give us a roll? You want to roll your griffin's constitution or less on this. And their eyes are just completely fucking wild as well, too, at this point. They're... Oh. All right. So, Falcarel, for the... there's no immediate penalty, but you're going to take -2 to all future rolls for... what is your... what's his name? Silverbeak?
Yes.
Okay.
Does our dragon fear affect this, by the way?
This is your griffins rolling it, and you don't need to worry.
Right, okay.
Okay, shit. And Bastard is also affected. Oh, and so is Violet.
Everybody, but...
Well, I think this is probably, you know, in fiction, this is probably the model of these things being terrified. Like, it's a testament to how well these were trained by the Goliaths, that these didn't just fly off right away. You know, so these things are just straining themselves, throwing themselves against this brutal wind. You do hear the screech of that frustration far off to the north. You guys have 1 success thus far. Next round. Okay. Guys, go ahead and give us another... Let's see here. This will be round 2. Remember, if your griffin failed, you can take -2 to your roll, or -2 to the your constitution. 18, shoot.
Are we... So, like, am I assuming then that as our characters themselves, the only thing we are able to do is to maintain...
Because, yeah, none of you guys have any training in airborne mounting, or mounted airborne riding.
I can't, like, touch a bastard and heal him in any way.
Without training, and these things moving as fast as they can through this kind of weather, all of your attention is to avoid fouling off your mount.
Alright. I have a feeling I'm going to end up swimming, and therefore freezing to death.
Don't you have metal armor on?
Yep.
Then I have good news. You don't need to worry about swimming.
Freeze. I don't need to worry about swimming.
All right, so we got success for Violet, success for Bastard, success for... what is your griffin's name?
Mine?
Yeah.
It's Ariawin. It means bullseye.
Oh, there you go.
Trust the actual elf to name it an actual elf name.
And then... yeah.
Hey,
Textbook,
Lex named his.
Yeah, textbook self-loathed there, Falcarel. Jeez.
Lex and myself were half elven.
Okay, so Falcarel, unfortunately, yours is at -4 now. And Tom, yours will be at -2 for the next roll.
Yep.
I'm seeing it as a narrative thing because my first instinct was to have Falcarel take up the back just to protect everybody else. So that's kind of working out in the mechanics.
Okay, so it's unfortunately, you can, in the same way you can ride horses to death, you can ride griffins to death. So, all right, so you're going along, and Falcarel, you may be whispering, you know, just a little further, just a little further. Guys, you have 2 of the necessary 3 successes now. Next round. I'm rolling not great checks to try and find you guys. So, one more round, guys. Please make those rolls. Shoot.
So close.
But at least you didn't roll a 16. Because, yeah. Oh, nice, Lex. Nice. All right, so...
That is 2 successes.
Unfortunately, Tom, your griffin likewise is like, you know,
-4
you
now.
can hear its breath is ragged as it's trying to draw more air into its lungs and force itself against. Cola gets a crit success on this. You know what I'll let you do is it stabilizes for a moment. If you want to cast a healing spell on this, please go ahead.
Oh, all right.
Yep.
Yeah, I will. I'll do. Well, what do I actually? Well, I've only got. No, okay, I've got 2 of those. So I'm
Accidentally
going to do Cure Moderate.
Cast a spiritual hammer on it. Here, I got you. Oh, God.
And as it spirals out the sky.
Yeah, I didn't know I had one in the chamber.
That's roll.
There
Holy
you go.
smokes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I blew a Cure Moderate because I do not want this thing falling into
Yeah.
Yeah.
going for a swim.
All right. So then, guys, it appears with your careful maneuvering, and I'm picturing you like kind of like, you know, nape of the earth style, flying just above where you can't see the surface. You're gonna have to come down a little bit in order to try and spot your base, but the sound of that dragon in the background gets more and more distant, and it appears that you guys have escaped. So, guys.
I honestly cannot believe we did that.
Oh, it'll be there for next time.
Oh,
Now,
but we'll be prepared.
let's see. Okay. So then, guys, let's move back to our overland map here. Where are we here? The island. Here we go. Grimskala. All right. So, guys. You are about here right now. Oop, that's a little loud. Okay. So then, where do you guys wish to go? You can make your way back to your... what do you call it, your base, or are you planning on going elsewhere? What are you thinking? This is, well, we'll say where your... that ship that you guys occupied was... You know, I think there was a ship involved, because, right? Because, Tom, you guys did make up a... yeah.
Yeah, we took him to a ship after the finding him on the iceberg.
Yeah, yeah. So is that where you're planning on heading?
I think so. I think we need to recuperate and make
That's
another plan.
That's the ship with the big, giant undead thingy we don't want to go back to.
You sure?
No, I think this was another one. I thought this was a smaller one. That
No, the other one on the map.
Yeah, the one you guys are talking past each other. I think you're both right that that's the one that is on the map that looks like a boat. That is not the one that you guys want to go to. It's a second one that's to be that red square. So, as you guys come flying back and land on the deck, what is the general mood here, folks?
Panic.
knackered, and a bit pleased we survived that. So I will.
Let me just do this. I'm going to move back to maybe because I've got all your tokens and your Griffin's tokens on the main map here. And what I'll do is I'm going to paste your tokens from the last map so you guys can modify your Griffin's hit points accordingly. There we go. And... All right, guys, so here is the state of your Griffins. They're just below there. So go ahead and copy what your hit points are. Once your hit points for your Griffins are all adjusted, your tokens will be adjusted just fine already, but... All right. Bastard should be 13. Every almond. Oh, it didn't get hurt at all. Nice.
No.
Much. Okay. So bastard will be at 13. No, 4. Wait, no, it's Typhoon's at 4.
Yeah, he got really badly hit when we were fighting in the air.
Yeah. All right then, guys. So, having landed back on the deck in the middle of this snowstorm, several of the griffins are still trying to shake off, the frost. And I think Cola, looks like you and Tom got at least blasted twice with the weapon too. So you're probably got that chill that you just can't shake as well. What happens next, guys?
Can we make a fire in the lee of the boat and try and warm ourselves up and the griffins?
You mean
Because I'm going to effectively rub down Typhoon and get the saddle off and pat him and make a fuss of him.
Okay. Did you mean in the hold of the ship?
Oh yes, because that's where you healed me, wasn't it? Yes. So we've got.
Okay.
Yeah. And
No.
also, if the dragon flies by, we don't want it to spot our griffins.
Can we get us all in there?
Oh yeah, this is a giant ship.
Oh, it's a huge ship, isn't it? Yes. Yeah. Let's just hide in the ship for a bit and sit down, have a meal, and try and warm up as much as we can.
Okay.
So this is a second ship with what doesn't have a giant skeleton.
Correct.
So,
This was a point of astonishing fortune well spent by Tom when he was thrown out to sea.
So we're still out in the Sea of Trackless Ice, basically.
Off the southern coast of Grimskala Island, yeah.
Off the southern coast of the island.
Yeah.
On a giant long ship.
One that appears to be
Alright.
unoccupied by anything else.
So it was just floating out here or something.
Yeah. It was,
cool.
sealed in ice as well, too, so it's not drifting.
Oh, yeah. So it's yeah.
We've spent the last 7 days here having Cola recover, so it's somewhat safe,
Yeah.
we think.
Uh-huh.
So,
okay.
So, Cola, how are you doing on healing spells?
Yeah, I have a couple cure lights and 1 cure moderate remaining.
I've got a cure light, 3 cure moderates, and a cure serious.
Yeah, I need a long rest before I can have access to. I have access to 4th level slots, but I can't fill them until I have taken a long rest. So I don't have cure serious yet.
Anyone
soon.
have a mortal
So
wound they
soon.
want cleared up?
what was that, John?
Anybody have a mortal wound they want cleared up?
I don't think so.
No, I'm good to go.
Yeah, I've just got a little bit of scarring, and chicks dig scars.
I think Falcor, you and Tom had the the party's collection of.
Yeah, over
Of
7
serious
days. Over 7 days, I am flawless again.
Flips his hair back.
15 charisma. Whoosh.
Okay.
So,
So then-
I'm going to drop a cure serious on Cola then if he's
I'm gonna do a couple cure lights here.
Don't forget the griffins.
Yeah, we got to do the griffins too. I'm gonna do a cure light on Typhoon.
Okay.
That was not very helpful. I'll do a second on Typhoon.
cure serious. sucked.
Okay, well Typhoon gets 6 in total.
Okay.
You get 8 from my cure serious. It didn't heal very much.
So, Mo, Typhoon is healed for 6.
Thank you.
I get 8. You said.
4 plus 3,
Cola gets
4.
8.
And I'm gonna do another cure moderate on myself.
Hit Typhoon with a cure moderate. Come on, dice.
It's Auril. She's blocking your magic.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit Bastard with a cure moderate. Damn, Aurel, stop it.
Look at this. Oh,
Wow.
I think
Okay.
both of our priests need to rest.
I'm going to give Tom a cure moderate.
Think of the extra spells you'll have to cast to heal everybody up and all the experience you're getting.
Eh,
Well, yeah. I just need to get those spells.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
who needs a cure light?
All right.
I give it a bastard.
So I think it's who was affected by Gorwin and Tom were affected by the dragon fear, right?
Mhm.
So I think like the fire gets going, the fire is roaring. You got your griffins around there too. You're beginning to get rid of some of the shake some of that cold. Gorwin, you weren't affected by the dragon breath, but you realize that your hands are still trembling, in spite of the warmth, and maybe like you each take a moment to sort of steel yourself, and you realize that there's still that gnawing, pit of fear, having faced that thing.
I'm gonna, if I can, I'd like to cast Aura of Comfort on myself to try to help warm myself up and.
Sure. Yeah. So that when you bring on that's when you feel the warm embrace of Baranar.
Yeah. I keep thinking that I could do that for everybody, but it's only one person. But I might as well. It'll help me rest up, probably.
Guys, I want to make sure you understand that I could cast this on you and could have some benefit for everybody, but I won't.
No, that's the point. I realized halfway through the campaign that it's only the creature touched, not everybody.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, that shakes the cold for you, Cola. But I think you made your save against Dragon Fear, so you're not affected spiritually the way that the other two were. That will fade over time. Like by the mid-afternoon, you'll have, that'll have gone. Your hands, you'll see, are not shaking any longer. But boy, oh boy, I think that is probably unlike anything you guys have ever experienced before. Something that just engenders a, primal level of, of a trigger of just like run, flee, hide. So, having faced this thing, you guys did not see at any point in your observations through the lens, you did not see a white dragon. So, does anyone have any proficiencies about, spellcraft? Well, spellcraft wouldn't really help. Ancient history or anything like that?
Go.
Ancient history?
Yeah.
It's like you're speaking my language.
Give us an ancient history check there, please.
All right, my focus is in elven history, so I guess I'll roll, and if I don't roll very well...
Critical success. So, I think, for one... So what I was getting at, what part of history does Gorwin tend to focus on most? Is he like some young lads who focus on battles and things like that? Is he someone who focuses on more the nobility and dynastic succession? Is he someone who focuses on the artistic transitions through the different phases of elven culture?
I think it's sort of artistic intellectual history, right? It's kind of philosophical traditions and how they align with like artistic traditions and
sure
that sort of thing. Yeah,
so
it's kind of core. Yeah.
So I think then there is a famous elven poem from the south that it speaks to the friendship between an elf and a dragon with brilliant, gleaming silver scales. And the poem is structured in such a way that each stanza is like a century. And it patterns as they're going along, and what it also tells of is how the dragons change over the centuries, growing larger and larger and larger, where the elves largely stay the same. And there's probably a level of meaning that the elf or the author intended over that. But the reason I bring it up for this is because it speaks to the fact that you can learn an awful lot about a dragon by how big it is. The thing that undead creature that Falcarol's goddess buried under that tried to bury under that avalanche. That thing would be very, 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 very old just by virtue of its size. This thing is probably fairly young.
Hmm.
So, and one of the things that you can also draw from that poem as well is that, like any other, though the lifespan of the dragons seem to be much longer, the poem also speaks to the changes that dragons, like the parallel is that though your time is as long as ours, as the elves, the path is closer to those of the short-lived humans. You go through dramatic changes in your interests and in your development and your maturity over the course of it, whereas elves, in that first 100 years, they get to a certain point and they are really kind of unchanging for a very long time. The sort of like maybe there's a parallel between like a mountain and a forest through that. The mountain remains unchanging. The forest is ever changing and expanding and whatnot. And the reason I bring that up is that if it is a young dragon, it is likely not as clever as what its adult kin might be. And the final thing, because of the critical success that you draw from it, is there is a single line where they talk about the intellectual acumen of dragons, and there is a specific call out to the scales of white and how dumb they are. Of all the dragons, the white dragons are by like a wide measure, the thickest. They are closer to bullies, and quite stupid ones at that, as opposed to the genius calculating villains that are like red dragons or blue dragons. So all of that taken together, it is a relatively young dragon of an exceptionally stupid breed of dragon. It doesn't take away its threat. Obviously, it's even at as a young thing, they're still quite dangerous, but not smart. So that was Gorwin's moment to share about that. And maybe like you can tell me if I've got this wrong, but it strikes me that Gorwin would not like explain it first. He'd first recite the poem.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He would go through and recite the entire poem and then say, and you see, you get it, guys? And then if nobody says anything, and say, look, there's all this, see, like the alliteration in this line means this piece and this piece and this piece. And we can tell based on this, the dragon in the poem and the way that it grew, that this dragon that we faced is not nearly the size that it will reach in its adulthood or ancient lifespan. That this is clearly, despite the fact that it was clearly very large, wasn't nearly as large as it could get. And it's also they have a brutish, thuggish cunning to them, but not the clever and deceitful intellects of some of their other hued brethren.
Falkroll seems to be paying a lot of attention to your stories.
Okay. Now, what I do not know from the poem is how you actually deal with the dragon. So if you guys have any ideas, we should probably brainstorm.
I think the weather was the biggest factor because it was like the perfect environment for it. If the wind had been better, visibility had been better, I think we could have taken it.
Well, we'd have had to be able to reach it. If we're on the ground, it's going to fly by at a higher height than us, so I can't hit it with a halberd.
Well,
we're having difficulty hitting it with bows. We've tried fighting it in the air. If it's really dumb, could we trick it into flying into the sea?
What do you mean? Like, is that a hypothetical possibility, or is that something that we could do? Because, like, I suspect, based on the whoosh, that the white dragon is not super affected by the cold the way we are, and that if it fell into the sea, it wouldn't just curl up and die of hypothermia the way that one of us is going to. If that was your idea, but it's possible maybe if we we were flying low and it tried to dive on us. But that's the question, is I don't know why it would. I don't know how you would get it to behave like that, because if it dove on us, it would probably just flare up. I'm picturing sort of like the way a helicopter kind of pulls back and flares up as it's about to land, right? That the dragon would sort of pull its wings down and sort of pull back and then blast.
What do you call it? Like a falcon or any other kind of raptor would go down and snatch prey and then take off?
Yeah, that it sort of has one kind of particular beat where it kind of almost stops in the air to blast, and then it keeps going. So I don't know why it would dive all the way down to the ocean, but
Tom's thinking, well, maybe could we get a net or have some way of tricking to chase us, and then it flies into something? Because presumably it's got normal vision. So I'm just thinking, if we could have it chase us, and then we have something, a net in the air, so it flies into it.
Right, like I said, it's not as big as it's going to be, but it's not small.
From what you guys were able to see, it is... the body itself was about 30 feet long, and the tail was another 25.
And I'm guessing the wingspan, at least that.
I think it's his body length is his wingspan, yeah.
Yeah.
Or if it's really stupid, maybe we can trick it and go and bypass it by... could we try and... Is there a way we could, mislead it with our direction, with spells? I'm looking at the spellcasters here.
Yeah, so that seems like
if you get it off on a distant thing and we can just, sneak past in the other direction.
My best trick is a light spell on its eyeballs. Otherwise, I don't think we're illusionists here.
No. That's not the kind of magic I have access to.
Yeah.
So we know it's strong in the cold and snow and ice and whatnot. What do you normally do to get rid of cold and ice? What did we do when we got here?
Heat and fire.
Lex, I don't know if I want to be walking that close to a dragon.
What do you mean?
Oh, did you not mean that I could touch the dragon and cast my aura on it in order to remove all of the effects of the cold around it?
No, Paula.
I think he was just talking about fire.
I'm thinking more along the lines of we started a fire. Fire
I'm sorry. I need to sleep.
Fire melts cold, warms things up. Like maybe some kind of fire damage or flaming weapons.
If only we had a party member who could cast fireball on it.
I did hear from Brandon. I don't think he's making it today, but he's going to try for next session.
Well, what about flaming weapons or?
Well,
great.
I don't have access to that circle.
Yeah, we don't worship fire gods.
Well, the problem is we can't really fight it in the air, I think. So we'd have to try and get it on the ground where the fighters can run in and try and hack it.
Now,
or the other way is to just trick it and bypass it, not fight it at all.
What happened when we fought it in the air?
Well, my griffin very near got killed.
Guys, how many times have you been to the island thus far?
3.
Oh, is it 3 already?
3, or twice.
You made forays into, I think, 3 times. How many times have you run into dragons?
Once.
Well,
yeah.
So maybe we could just go again and say.
Well, I may bring that up only to say that the dragon most certainly is a threat, and it's going to be out there, but
it's not the only threat.
Well, and it's not the you guys did take a different route to go in this time than what you did last time. So
yeah, they don't have an AWAC with radar flying around. Hey, let's call up our dragon, intercept whatever's flying that area.
That's what you need my first edition paladin for that.
Here, let's see.
Could we actually use the mirror to?
I was going to bring you back to the map here so you guys can strategize. you down here, guys. So the route that you guys have elected to take last time took you about here, or here maybe. You know, or yeah, I think it was over this way. This is the way that you went last time. When you initially landed, you went this way, and then went up into here.
Yeah, on foot.
Yeah, so proceeding in this direction, that's where you ran into a dragon. But there's an awful lot of coastline that you guys have not explored.
Yeah, we know the
And we're on
tower's
the
that way,
southern-
though.
We're on the southern tip.
Well, I was thinking, could we fly east or west?
Well, you're on
and
the
find
southern
somewhere to camp there and
coast.
then
Oh, one
go
second,
in.
one second. Dave, to answer your question, you're on the southern coast, but you don't know if you're on the southern tip yet.
Okay, so somewhere along the coast, even if we don't know exactly where. So there's lots of directions we can go that don't require going into the dragon area.
We do know that the tower is that way.
Yes.
So maybe
So
we go
you
around.
guys were just making a beeline for it when you ran into the
Well, we
dragon.
were going to go up here and like explore the coast, but then we found that it wrapped around here, and that we got attacked right around here.
Yeah.
So
Why don't we go this way next time and try and go around all the threats between us and the tower?
you mean try to come at it from the north?
Or just
Well, or
try
sort
and
of go,
loop around. Loop around.
Hmm.
We don't know how big the
yeah,
island
maybe
is.
fly for a few miles along the coast that way, and then head in.
Sounds doable.
It's not. I think a few miles.
Well,
Right, we're talking about hundreds of feet, not miles, right?
How many feet are in a
Yeah,
mile? 1,600?
5,200 and some.
Okay, so yeah,
5,280 because it's a Roman legion worth of steps.
okay. So then it would, yeah, like,
So yeah, the you know
What's a half mile
2,000
there?
feet. It's like a half mile to out here. And
there's
we
no
can
reason we
on
couldn't go
Griffinback we can cover
10,
that
15
real
miles.
quick if the weather is with us, right? Because
So why don't we wait for a decent weather day and then head out on a little recon?
Mm-hmm.
now because, since you guys have come here, those, Lex has direction sense, so he'd be keenly aware of this. There's been no
Okay.
break in, like, there's been, like,
Weather-
the wind has subsided, but the wind has not broken. Like, the reason you guys had to land your griffins was because the wind, it continues to blow. This is the abode of the goddess of winter, so,
We'll never run out of food. We've got Clanged in.
yeah.
And Falkroll was taking up the slack during those 7 days too. So
Okay. So what are you thinking, guys?
yeah, I think that's a good plan. I mean, obviously, we might have to rest another couple of days to fully heal ourselves, but
Okay.
I mean, what we could do is go to the east 10 or 20 miles and find another suitable staging point on the coast where we could park the griffins. Because I suspect we're going to have to park them at some point and walk. Given the
yeah, I
conditions
think we're
we
talking
faced.
about doing that is flying along the coast to find a spot
Yeah.
where we can set them down, because it seems likely that we're not going to be able to get too far over the center. We're not going to get too close to the center of the island with the wind and the weather the way it is. The griffins just can't fly through it.
and don't forget about the terrain. When we got on the land, it took us hours to get 200 feet because of the snow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And roaming ice giants, frost giants, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I assume we brought our snowshoes and gear with us anyway.
That was
Well,
even
yeah,
with
but it
that.
still takes a long
Oh, yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's a plan. I think we might have to wait here for at least another day, if not two, from looking at our hit points.
Well, before we settle on that, can you take us back to the all of Icewind Dale map?
Yeah, yeah.
Kevin, so we
Got
can
it.
look at. Because one of the things that I was thinking about is that realistically, with griffins, our movement is just vastly faster than it has ever been, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
So if we wanted, even if we wanted to like go back to the Dwarven Valley from our current position as it is on the map, that's 30 miles. How far can the griffins fly?
You guys
there?
are several days out into the Sea of Trackles
Oh,
ice.
we're several days past.
Yeah.
Okay, but still, it's a whole lot faster than we've ever been before.
Yep.
in any of our campaigns.
So one thing
especially-
I will say, guys, is just to take us out of the game for a second to talk on the meta level too. We had talked a little offline and in the session. I mean, more so offline about like the getting to the end, that we were in the final chapter of the campaign and whatnot too.
Oh yeah, last night.
Yeah, so we talked about this last night as well too. But one thing I don't want us like the way we've been playing this game is with no set ending. We're not like there's no set defined ending to the campaign, and there certainly isn't. I can tell you that even if you guys defeated Owlroll tomorrow, that doesn't necessarily mean this campaign is over. So I think part of the push to sort of get there has been, or at least the way you guys have talked about it, has been to try and like, all right, let's see the end of this story. That's not been the way we've been playing this campaign the whole time along. So if you guys want to take a lot of your the ways that you guys have faced your adversaries has been to fail initially and then to go back, right? Like I think to Kelly Lee went that way. The Hammerstones went that way. So we don't have a timeline. We don't have a ticking clock on this. I'm not saying that you necessarily need to go back to the Dwarven Valley, but you guys don't need to feel like we're here. And I imagine your characters would probably feel that way too, right? It's the... Go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah, go.
I'll go first.
I'm inclined to agree, and I completely forgot that we had literally just talked about this 10 hours ago. But no, I'm glad you reminded that, because I think I'm not necessarily eager to get to the end of the so-called story, like the so-called end of the story. Aside from my comments last night of like, I'm also really eager to read this adventure and to read Rima the Frostmaid, and I'm holding out until we do finish this. But no, I'm happy to keep exploring this area. It's huge. There's so much more we can do. I kind of want to know, what else we can get up to. I think we had also kind of like we anticipated or thought that there was this pressure and timeline because of what the White Witch is doing, and there's a certain amount of time or a window in which she can do her nasty stuff, and we miss that opportunity if we don't act. But what I'm hearing is that we don't need to feel fixated on that. If there are things we want to do, there's a lot of threads that we've left kind of just dangling. The whole 10 towns situation, for example.
There's Netherese ruins.
That's what I was thinking specifically. Is
the ruins.
As soon as we talked
can we
about
find
the
an
poem,
actual flying city?
well, as soon as we talked
Just
about
come
the
back and
poem with
bomb
the
them?
Silver Dragon, we encountered ruins of a civilization that had a special relationship with silver dragons. I bet they have something that is helpful for dealing with bad dragons, or are the most likely to have that.
There is something in party loot. I was thinking about this that you guys may have forgotten as well too.
No, I remember distinctly. I just don't know when we find one.
What would that be, John?
Those silver dragon wings that you need to befriend a silver dragon with and go through a process to bind them to you to fly.
Yeah.
Flying a half-elven ranger.
Do not tempt me.
Well, my point was going to be that because I was thinking about the Netherese ruins particularly because they're a civilization that had a relationship with dragons, them and the various kind of Jotun peoples, right? Because the giants, like they fought the dragons, right, in ancient days and all that sort of, long before everybody else came. And so we talked to the Goliaths more. We could go to the Netherese ruins and figure out, because it seems to me that the white dragon is sort of the White Witch's kind of biggest cannon that we've encountered so far, right? It's their biggest gun is this white dragon that, if it's a blizzard, is really hard to deal with.
Tom may suggest that the frost giants are no slouch either.
Well, I'm not suggesting that.
Also,
frost giants are a slouch, but just in
flashback
terms
of
of like.
Yeah,
a frost giant is sort of like an enemy that we can at least face. A white dragon attacking out of a blizzard is something that we get like 2 shots at with our arrows before it disappears, and it blasts us every time. And that's seems to Gorwin to be, that's what's sort of the biggest threat, aside from the sort of possibility of an eternal ice age and all of that sort of stuff. That's sort of secondary right now. And so why don't we go find out about dragons so that we can, deal with this thing instead of staying out here. Because like compared to when we had to trek from here all the way out to the Evermelt, and it took us, like weeks of overland travel. We've got so much faster movement over land. We could get to any of these places that we're talking about going and start investigating it without losing much kind of in game time. Obviously, it takes real world time to go and investigate all these things, but in game time, spend 2 weeks going to Netherese ruins and maybe find something that helps us deal with a white dragon.
Mm. Yeah, and just to be clear too, like I'm not trying to say like, oh, this is a red zone, so you guys are all, everything in here is going to kill you, right?
Maybe you should come back later.
No, like it's really not a matter of that, but the I think that some of the pressure came from like us discussing trying to get to like, okay, we're going to conclude this, this story. There's absolutely no pressure for that. I don't have a set deadline for this to end or anything like that. We're going to keep playing, and as long as there's, we're all enjoying it and we keep going with the story. So if your characters feel, and I guess the other thing to remember is that you guys have dealt a defeat to the Ice Queen, right? Like the Frost Maiden, you have dealt a defeat to her in the form of that, at Evermelt.
Yeah.
Oh, that one too, yeah.
Yeah. So, because you destroyed one of the avatars and that frozen dragon, right? So,
Undead one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think too, like, this campaign initiated from a desire to have something specifically that would run the course of the crisis, and well, that's not ending either. So, but I think my point being that I think I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but my sense is that we've long since stopped thinking about this campaign as just the COVID campaign. This is our own thing now, and it's got a life of its own. I mean, for heaven's sakes, we're a year into this now.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. We missed the anniversary. Jeez, 69 sessions, boys. So
we missed the anniversary. That's awful. We should feel bad.
Yeah, we had the anniversary.
We need to do something.
This is our impromptu, retrospective. Then, just as we're leading into our mid-session break. So, that does seem. Gorwin has suggested that perhaps learning more about what is facing, and you guys, apart from finding that the way to get here, do you guys know how to defeat her?
Yep.
Just figured we'd hit her until she stops moving.
I think anyone
with a fireball or something like that.
You're always so eager, Falcaro, to go running in and get yourself killed.
Well,
Gorwin
a wee
just looks
bit
at
of
Collins or
preparation,
rolls his eyes.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, you youngin.
Maybe we
might be
maybe
some
we need
specific
training. Sorry, go ahead, Mo.
I was going to say that if we investigate the Netherese aspect, there may well be some anti-dragon or some stuff there that we might find helping. We didn't really go into that speaking head thing we found, did we?
Oh, we talked to it for a bit.
Maybe it knows something about dragons.
You guys did not fully explore the Cave of Hunger.
Yeah, I think
you guys got to a point and turned back from that. There is that ruin where you stumbled across Grim as well.
Yeah, we don't want to go back to the Cave of Hunger necessarily. Kev's trying to point us in the direction of some kind of other creature of hunger that was trying to. Yeah, that's a bad idea.
It's still lurking in the back of Lex's mind. That thing in the ice.
We don't want to go to that thing in the ice. Also, because Kev's trying to turn the campaign into a Cthulhu type thing, with tentacled monsters and.
Oh man! All right, so
we need the dynamite.
Break.
Yeah, so let's do this, guys. So it sounds like you guys have a plan for what to do next. Let's do this. Let's take our mid-session break. We'll come back, and then we will see what our heroes decide to do next. We'll check them a chat as well, too. So, great. So back momentarily, folks. Alrighty. So, let's see here. Brian, good morning. Fred, good morning. Let's see. Abyss, good morning. How's everyone doing today? Hope the weekend is off to a great start for you guys. Just noticed a very big dragon. Yes, Abyss. Old School says, rocket launcher of dragon slaying, a must-have for all adventurers. I would definitely agree. Yeah. Jeez. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So that was a good chat. I think it's good to step back for a second and reassess that whether you keep throwing yourself against, the odds. Although Falcarel has seemed quite intent on trying to get this witch queen, right?
Yeah, he feels pressure from his deity, whether or not that's real or not. If the group wants to go back and prepare, yeah, sure. I think being wound free for the first time in his experience up in the Icewind Dale, it's starting to affect his mindset. He feels
that he needs more wounds.
I don't know. He needs to chill out.
All right. Yeah, there's still. It's cool because there's so much stuff that still could, happen. Of the things that you guys have dealt with, like, I think there's because we're using a combined, elements from Legacy of the Crystal Shard and elements from Rime and the Frost Maiden. And then also, of course, I always add my own shit in for these games. But of the written material, I think you guys have dealt with a little less than half. Yeah, with just how much content there is. We were talking about this before, or last night after the session, but like the Icewind Dale Rime and the Frost Maiden adventure itself is it's a terrific value for what you get out of it. There's so much adventure content in it. I think that from what Andrew had said and what Davis said, that whatever it's called, Tomb of Annihilation is similar to that for the 5e games, whereas there's a lot of content you can run. That's the one thing that is unfortunate with some of the adventure paths from Pathfinders, because they're intended sort of to be that arc. It's a little harder to like mix and match shit and do it out of order. You can do that within a module for sure, and some of the modules are definitely more sandboxy than what other ones are, but as an adventure as a whole, it's really hard to rework that, particularly with so many adventures that are geared to specific levels. Alrighty. The party could pull a MacGyver using a pissed-off gnome with a potion of invulnerability and a catapult. Don't make me bring my copy of Top Ballista out again.
Let me see if we have a potion of invisibility. That's their invulnerability.
I don't think you guys do. I don't think we come across that in the campaigns yet. All right, so everyone is on the ship and warming themselves and dealing with the after effects of the dragon fear.
I know what's causing it. That ring that Falcarel's always wearing that makes him immune to fear effects. It's just he's not feeling it like the other bit party.
Yeah.
Like, what are you scared of? Let's go.
A ring of woeful overconfidence.
Pretty much.
Alrighty. So, guys, what are we thinking of doing? So, this is the discussion you guys have, the characters have had around that roaring fire, talking about what to do, the howling of the wind outside. In fact, let me put. I've had it blowing in the background, but here you go, guys.
Nice.
That is the sound outside of the hold of your ship.
Arvin says to start with auto.
Oh, okay, yep.
And so Lex, after thinking about this for a while, listening to whatever everybody else says, I have to I have to apologize if I've pushed a little too much. Since the beginning, it's all been about big picture, and every time someone's had an idea that's taken us off of the White Witch, I've argued against it and made pleas to follow this path and keep us on this path time and again. So if I've, I don't know, maybe this is premature, maybe we're not ready, or I don't know, maybe this isn't our path. But I'll go with what the group goes.
Yeah, I think maybe we could try and find some more allies, or at least a way to get past the dragon. Because I assume the closer we get to the center, the more likely we are to encounter it again.
Cookies.
Allies we have been gathering, or at least gaining allegiances and friends, and we just haven't really followed through on the gathering of those allies for this push, which I admit I always thought was sort of our plan. Lex, don't put too much of this weight on your shoulders, lad. We've all been trying to reach this goal. We've all been trying to push, and I think you are the one trying to keep us focused and not get distracted by unnecessary distractions. But we came up and we've realized that we're not ready for this. We've taken on too much. There's no shame in that. We'll regroup, and we'll find our answers.
Fair enough, Master Dwarf. My good friend Kola. So where to then? Do we head back to the 10 towns or the Dwarven Valley? Do we go into the mountains south of the 10 towns and search for Netherese runes?
Well,
I think either the 10 towns and find out what's happening politically, or we go back to the Dwarven Valley, as that's a safe space to recuperate.
One thing I will point out too is because this is a sandbox campaign, you guys, and now that you've got griffins, which will move a fair amount faster, if you choose to go outside of the Icewind Dale, we've got plenty of material for that as well. I'm not suggesting the focus of the campaign go elsewhere, but if, say, like you guys, one of the downsides to the Icewind Dale region, there you go, is of course
Just casually busts out.
Candlekeep has all the knowledge that we need. We'll be back.
is that you have you have the difficulty of there's not really a lot of sages and whatnot in here, whereas like Candlekeep does, or perhaps in Neverwinter, or so. And I don't just because in our the Night Below campaign, that is a very geographic centric thing, but you guys do not have the mobility you do in this game. So if we don't, if you guys do think, and we do know that each of you guys has different connections. There is a connection to Candlekeep through Grimm. There's a connection to Neverwinter through Lex. There is where is Falkrel from?
He was a bit south from the Cloud Peak, near the Cloud Peak Mountains.
Okay,
That general area.
Yeah, so I mean,
Probably closer to Baldur's Gate.
and I don't want you to feel like you need to go there by any means, but I mean that is definitely. I don't want you to feel limited to just the Icewind Dale if you think that there may be a resource outside that you may draw on as well. This campaign is going to go where you guys go. So, what are you guys thinking? We've lost Dave now. He's gone altogether.
Yeah, I think also, I think canonically, I think Tom was from Neverwinter.
No. Tom was from what do you call it?
It was more the southern ones, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I'm not
Tethir.
very bad.
Yeah, you're one of the nobles from Tethir who's come up here to hide.
Arlen, we're going on a road trip.
Inspired by Gorwin's thing, we've decided to head to Candlekeep.
Whoa. We haven't decided where yet.
Yeah. Somewhere Brandon feels a cold chill go down his spine. Because his master who cursed him, who he stole that shit from, is in Candlekeep.
Oh my god, now we have to.
Yeah.
Can we get there before Brandon shows up for the next session?
Surprise, Brandon, guess where we are.
Yeah, welcome back. Unfortunately, you've been captured by the guards at Candlekeep and are now in a dungeon.
It'd be like, what's going on?
So that said, I mean, your time can also be spent with the folk in this region as well too, because there is still, the trouble is still brewing here. And one of the great things about this particular campaign, the Legacy of the Crystal Shard campaign, is that shit keeps happening when you guys are doing other stuff, right? So with you guys, it sounds like making the decision to head out. Are there any other spells that you want to cast before this first day, the day of the dragon fight? Is there any other spells that you guys need to cast before evening comes?
Have we got any left?
No? You guys are tapped out? All right. So let's see if anything interesting happens overnight.
I'm just tapped out of healing spells, so.
All right. So the evening, while windy, passes uneventfully. So,
Cool. You gonna minister to people? I'll minister to animals.
You guys, who's got animal handling? You do.
I've got that and the healing proficiency.
Okay, and Cola's got healing proficiency, and I think he's got herbalism as well, so he's actually better at healing than what you are. So, everyone who's a person, you guys get 3 hit points back overnight, and everyone who's an animal gets 2 hit points back overnight. Weatherman, if you wouldn't mind giving us 4 rolls, please, and let's see what kind of weather. There's for sure going to be wind here. It's just a question of how bad it's going to get. Okay, and there's snow as well. Okay. So the wind is not quite as bad as the day before, at least where you guys are off the coast. Oh, and Dave, would you give us a... Actually, no, it'll be a cold snap then, because this is the island. So it's even colder today than what it was before. It's dipping down to like minus 35 Celsius, which is getting close to minus 40 Fahrenheit.
Already.
Yeah.
Sounds like some dirt colds are going to come up.
So there is, and then the snow, it's a moderate amount of snow, so it's not quite as bad as it was the day before, but it's going to be very brutal. It's almost as if like the weather, while the wind is not quite as bad, the grip of the cold is coming in. You know, when you guys get outside, it hurts your face after a couple of minutes, a minute or so of standing outside. Almost as if Auril herself is telling you that you are unwelcome here. How much time do you need for spells, guys?
Let's see.
It's a half hour per level per spell, right?
It's 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Oh, okay. All right.
2.
Half hour per level per spell. That's pretty. Oof.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. That's brutal. Man, I'm gonna need a week, guys.
Yeah. I like your hardcore rules, though, Andrew.
No, that's quite all right. We don't need to. Don't listen to me.
I need 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Cole, are you doing the create food and drink, or should I? Or we both could do it.
I haven't cast it yet, so I didn't cast it the day before. I could still do it.
Okay, because I think between the both of us, we could feed the party and the griffins.
Yeah. So we're both doing it then?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna start prepping some travel spells, like light and load.
You know, if we head back to the Dwarven Valley, Alehead and some of our other gear, and maybe my
Actually,
wolf.
some of our friends were meeting us there, weren't we?
Yep.
I need 4.5 hours.
The entire the chieftain and the shaman and all the what do you call it? All the surviving members of the elk tribe were all making their way back to the northern valley, accompanied by some of your Goliath friends.
Volcano's turned on the group. Kill him. He's trying to feed us to the griffins.
I think a pit stop at the Dwarven Valley would make some sense for us to kind of touch base and check in with our allies, make sure people have arrived who are supposed to, see if anyone didn't show and need help, that sort of thing. And to let them know that we're like still alive and still in this with them. I think that might be beneficial.
Maybe ask them to teach us the basics of griffin flight so that, we don't fall off quite as often, because that
would be
seems like
good.
that would be useful.
Yeah, that would be a useful skill.
I think the last they saw you as well too is when you guys learned of that giant mound where that place where you met with the frost giant jarls. Because you went there and then you went to a town, one of the 10 towns, and stayed there for a bit, and then you to Tourmaline, I think, and then you went north, right?
Yep.
Hey Kev, I know using a bow or a longbow of some sort from Griffinback is very precarious. Like you don't got the room for it.
Yep.
What about a crossbow?
Crossbow you could use. You couldn't load it again, but because your feet are in the stirrups.
A hand crossbow you could.
Crossbow you could. Yep.
Yeah, but like a full crossbow that you need to bend over with.
The other thing would be a short composite or compound bow. Like a
horse archery bow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting some training on the griffins and having a griffin ready bow to use, or of some sort. So.
Nice. All right, so
get your griffins, tied to your griffins, and do a barrel roll and shoot them as you're. That's never going to happen now.
Well, what you need to find is a halfling who can sit on the back with a repeating crossbow. You have it sit backwards like a double saddle, so he could be like the tail gunner.
You're kind of
like a reverse BB Bjorn. All right, so then, guys, today it sounds like is anyone casting? You're able to get your full rest. You're able to get your spells prepped without any kind of disturbance. Do you wish to cast any spells before you guys take flight and start heading south?
Probably some cure spells. Bastard looks like he's still in pretty bad shape, and Cola too.
Yeah, and we had said we'll do Falcroll and I will do create food and water.
Okay.
I'll do a light and load, so our gear isn't as heavy. And okay, Cola, you want a cure mod?
I will. Well, hold on. I can take care of myself.
How about I give your Griffin the cure mod then?
All right.
I think a belly gunner would be awesome.
Again, Dave, you keep pushing me. We're going to get that flying city back.
Well, yeah, I was thinking a small flying manor house. And we could have some ballistas.
One cure for Typhoon.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe
I think
the
I'm good
dwarves will
myself.
Maybe the dwarves will at least have an idea of where the repositories of knowledge on dragons are. Like who had really good records on dragons. And then we can decide what to do from there.
Well, especially since we've made such good friends with Adric, and he seems to know all sorts of weird shit.
Yeah. Secrets.
Secrets, yeah. It's almost like that's his job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna prep cure campsite just in case we don't come across a boat. That's
Cure campsite?
Create.
I mean, our campsite often is in need of some help.
Yeah.
Purify.
What about Slay Undead Giant? Because there's probably some pretty cool stuff on that boat that's just to the southeast of us.
Slay
Undead Giant is my bow. Favorite enemy.
And you know what would have been great too is if someone had dropped something that they knew and then used locate object to find that floating dragon barge. Where was he?
I think we looked at that, but locate object has a really short range.
Oh, right. There you go. Because that's floating out there somewhere too.
Yeah.
Not at all.
If we found that while Grim's gone, he would be really happy.
So then, guys, has everyone cast all the healing spells they intend to before we set out and start making random encounter rolls?
I think everybody's
I'm
pretty
gonna
much.
slap a cure light on Silverbeak.
Okay.
Violet, Silverbeak, and Bastard are still hurt. So is Cola.
And another one with Silverbeak.
Cola's fine. I'm at 41 to 48. I'm all right.
Okay.
Tom could maybe use some. Bastard.
Yeah, I'm good for now. Let's save them in case we get into a fight and we need them in the heat of battle.
Okay.
No, but that's the problem. Is if we're in a battle, Cola can't run around and heal you. But if you're healed now, then he doesn't have to go
cool.
heal you sooner. And that's what I'm thinking about the Griffins.
You're happy.
Too.
I'm 43 of 58, so
Yeah, like,
maybe another light. All right.
See, I've got a cure serious that's handy in case we need it, but
Cure Mod has a max of 11.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, if you're happy to do that, yep.
Okay, so I will.
How much are you down, Tom? 42 out of 58?
I'm on 43 and my max is 55. Sorry.
There. You have 8.
All right. Oh, that'll be fine. Thank you.
Okay.
we're looking pretty good condition now. Try to keep Bastard and Violet away from fights, but
Okay.
That's
Damn.
down 8.
how much you down, Lex?
8.
Oh yeah, I gotta do my. I get 4th level spells. What the hell am I doing? I can take those now. Finally.
So he needs an
Yeah.
extra 40. He needs an extra 40 minutes to prep spells.
I'll need an extra. No, I will need an extra 80 minutes because I
Oh.
get 2 because of my high wisdom.
Wisdom.
2 level 7s, guys. I think I'll just take Cure Serious for both. let's be serious here.
You're not taking Axe Storm of Clangeddon? What?
I have access to that now. I gotta open up my. Where's my demi-human deities? Oh my god, guys.
Page
I am
53,
so excited.
bottom right. If
Okay.
this spell is cast, each affected dwarf gains an additional attack per round with every axe wielded in melee combat. Or hurled by-
melee.
Does
Or hurled. My spiritual weapon works too. Yay!
dwarf friend count?
Oh, it's like physical axes.
Oh, so I can't use my spiritual weapon. Well, I mean that would be too much to ask anyway. Combining this spell cannot be combined with other offers.
Well, it says like this is for axes, hand axes, hatchets, throwing axes, two-handed battle axes. They may be non-magical or magical. The spell is not cumulative with other similar magic.
So no haste.
All right. Dave. Oh, no, we already rolled the weather for today.
Yep.
So, what's the plan for the travel then, guys?
Head to the Dwarven Valley, I think, and not fly too high.
Yeah, I prepped no direction, so in case we get sort of lost, we can try to pick the general direction to head in. So,
Give
We
us
basically just want to head south until we get back to land, right?
well, I think southeast, but
Okay. Well,
Okay.
we're basically heading a straight shot to land, and then we start finding landmarks to navigate
Okay.
by. See if we can see Kelvin's cairn and fly towards that.
Then, guys, what I'd like you guys to do is you've got direction sense, Falcaro?
no, I have no direction as a spell. I think somebody else has direction sense.
I have direction sense.
Oh,
as
give us a direction sense roll.
weapon.
Nice.
Hey.
Okay. So then, because this is the trackless part of the Sea of Trackless Ice, when you guys were traveling before, you were just going directly towards Grimskala. Now, but you know what? I
Can
think.
we, like aim it behind us and try to? head
Yep. So you got a
directly away?
landmark. So let's see. You got
Yeah, I just prep no direction just in case that gets blizzard-like and direction sense fails us. So
Yep.
Yep. Makes sense.
Can we shrink that thing down? Shrink that giant crystal down and put it on a lanyard so it doesn't get lost or drop.
a little bob. So if it falls in the water, it doesn't drink.
Make a copy for each of us, maybe, so that
Yeah. Okay. So let's see here.
Put it into
This-
put it into a spectacle like a gnome thing where you slide it down in front of you.
70 minus a landmark brings down 55.
build it into a helmet like Deadshot's thing.
I was thinking more Mandalorian, but sure.
Yes, yeah, that's true. But I know Kev has a thing for Deadshot because I played him that one time in the DC Heroes game.
Yep. Deadshots. You guys are both on the right track. Dave texted me yesterday, or messaged me yesterday about he's making his way through season 2. He's like, so how did you feel about the first couple of episodes? And yeah, pretty fucking great.
Yeah, as soon as ground. Anytime I see a movie or a show where there's like ground shaking or creatures underground,
It's all good by my. Yep. I watched Love and Monsters yesterday. It's at Netflix, a new Netflix film. It's got a pretty fucking great underground monster in it too. Okay, so Gorwin, you're the one who rolled for Direction Sense. Would you give us a percentile roll, please? For
All right, I want to roll high on this, right?
yes, you do. You want to fail this sucker.
just don't roll.
Don't know what that means, but I guess I
roll
don't
low.
have any control either
Yeah.
way. So
Roll low.
I rolled low.
All right, so your first day, you guys are traveling, and to appreciate just how difficult this is as well, too, every stretch of ocean here looks exactly the same. It is endless, miles of frozen skiff and a frozen skiff and a frozen skiff and a frozen skiff and no actual landmarks. And even when you check Gramscala, because of the distances that you are traveling, it doesn't appreciably seem to change. So that's been challenging, which means you guys do have a day of travel. What? Someone give me a D5 roll, please. Let's see who spots this. All right, so Lex, you were flying.
submarine style trigonometry
Sorry?
for our Grimscale. We, like submarines do with sonar trigonometry to figure
Yeah.
out how far you are as you're moving and all that sort of stuff.
It's challenging on Griffin back or on a floating
Yeah,
thing.
and Gorwin's skills are not really mathematical so much as literary and
Yeah.
all that. So
Exactly.
Do we have an accurate clock, and do we have a sextant?
Yeah.
So it's rolled round.
Well, we're gonna burn a torch and hope that it lasts for about an hour because we know that's. Or we'll cast strength for the 10 minutes and.
All right, so what you see, Lex, is about, this is shortly after noon. You guys have taken a brief break, and I think you see down below, you can see that there is a pod of killer whales that sort of crest out of the water, and they're going down, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. And then you see perhaps the largest tentacle you've ever seen whip out of the water as it's cresting, wrap around this killer whale, and then pull it beneath the blackened surface. And you keep on flying and look back like, Jesus!
I feel like
There's
we should
always,
100 feet.
always a bigger fish.
Yep.
Always a bigger
boy.
fish, guy.
Guys, I think we don't want to fly that low.
Apart from the happy reminder that even the seas are filled with danger, you guys come to the end of your day, and you're not sure whether you've made progress or not of making your way home. So that evening, you guys make camp on a floating, one of the larger floating skiffs. What do you guys wish to do tomorrow? Mark off. So you're using. Mark off
Spells.
another thing of firewood as well too.
Yep, I can do that.
Okay.
I guess I will ask Falcaril about his spell that lets him know direction and if that might be more effective than my direction sense for us not getting lost.
I usually only prepare it just in case it gets really bad that there's no way to make do because
Well,
the spell will let me know where north is.
Okay,
Guaranteed.
but what I'm saying is, like, if we're not going to cast any other spells over the course of the day, and it's only, a small amount to get it back every day,
I could
it might
cast
be
it.
worth casting it to, at least. How long does it last? Does it last, like,
Oh, it's just
all
a
day
cast.
or 10 minutes or what?
You cast it, you know it, and then you go from there. You can get lost again, but
Oh,
So you.
well, how many can you prepare?
And you've
Just
got a
one.
good idea of where north is. It's just your direction sense was sound. It's just over the course of navigating from that time, it's been, it has been difficult. You're not the least of which is that you are trying to navigate from a position that you are totally unfamiliar from the air, right? So you're so.
Well, I'm
you're-
just thinking if Falcaril can do like 4 of them, we could do like
I
one in
could.
the morning and one in the afternoon and one at noon and have
So it
more
would
consistent checks.
it would not materially change. Your direction sense roll tells me that you're solidly aware of where north is, but it's in the time between when you're taking your bearing and when you're flying. That's where it's been screwing up.
Yeah.
So
okay. Well,
yeah.
I guess we don't need to. I feel like Gorwin would suggest that we do it anyway, just as much as anything, so that we don't have to rely on his 15 direction sense for every.
Well, the thing is, in instances where you can't know it, it's like you can't get any landmarks. That's when Falcor can say that's north, and then it'll probably help.
So you could prep 2 and do like one in the morning and 1 as backup if we run into a blizzard or something.
And that might help if you get turned around, you can at least know which direction to go. So
yeah.
So Lex made a successful weather sense check. Let's see what the weather's gonna be like for today.
Oh.
No things. Wind is dying down a bit, and so no precipitation. Beautiful clear skies, guys. You have a terrific day today. This is gonna be much easier. The chance of getting lost has just dropped. So, why don't you give us a direction sense roll there, Gorwin?
Did everybody have trouble hearing that, or was it just me?
It was me.
Everybody did.
Oh, sorry, guys. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sound better. You were T1000 in there for a second.
Weird.
Let's do our overnight healing if the night goes
That
well.
was more like Sticks, Mr. Roboto, but sure.
Nice. Then, would you kindly give us a, let's see here, direction sense roll for Gorwin, please?
Yes. Direction sense. Hey.
Good. And then give us a percentile roll, please.
All right. Percentile roll. Better.
Much better. You feel like you're making progress today.
Awesome.
All right. Now, let's see if anything, everyone cast your spells in the morning. What do you call it? The griffins will heal 2 hit points overnight. The people will heal 3 hit points overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I need this here.
And I'm going to drop a Cure Light on Violet.
Okay.
Because it's still down a bit.
Myself and Typhoon and I are okay because we're just 1 point off, so you can forget about us for the day.
So with the healing of overnight and that spell, Violet's at full.
Good.
Okay.
Cast.
All right. I just rolled a very interesting encounter.
Oh
You
no.
always say that.
Yeah. No, this is genuinely like I had not. It's one of the things I love about using these random encounter tables is that you come up with this like, oh, I hadn't actually thought about that. That's an interesting possibility.
It's not Arctic Sirens.
Are there Arctic sirens?
Oh,
Well, that's probably the worst thing I could think of happening right now.
Seems like they would get cold.
Oh, John. Oh, John. The wonderful surprises I have for you.
Yeah,
That's
that white
right.
dragon, that was the baby, and the mom is after us. That's
Yeah.
just
Well,
what-
let's find that Kraken. Might take care of the dragon.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we just lure it down and hopefully the tentacles get it and not us.
I think odds are better that either the tentacles or the dragon gets us, and both of them get away scot-free.
Would you guys give me a let's see here.
Turns out they're buddies from high school.
Think John or Mo.
Oh, the buddies from high school, did you say, Dave?
Yeah, the Kraken and the Dragon are buddies, old buddies from high school, and they're just going to team up on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mo, would you give us a D10 roll, please?
Yeah, Kraken.
Oh,
The
you just
movie
threw a
was
dice at my
called
head.
Kraken v Dragon, and it's supposed to be them fighting each other. Why are they fighting us?
It's like one of those movies, and they're about to fight, like in Braveheart, when the Irish and the Scottish are about to like crash into each other, and then all of a sudden they slow down and they start shaking hands. It's like, hey,
I'm thinking
I
more.
was just making a reference to Batman v Superman, where it stops being Batman v Superman about halfway through, because then it's Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman versus.
Well, I mean, that's you've also described Kong v Godzilla v Kong.
Oh,
yeah.
Way to spoil a new movie. I was only spoiling a movie that's a couple years old.
If you were going in to any like monster versus monster film,
you know what? Maybe,
and you didn't expect them to team up at some point, that is adorable.
Godzilla versus Kong.
Have you still not seen it?
No.
It is absolutely. I mean,
I'm probably gonna watch it soon. I hear it's a whole lot of fun.
I enjoy that film so much. In the same way I enjoyed Pacific Rim.
Yep.
I got exactly what I signed up for. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's hard for me to enjoy. Like in this house, my partner is a cinephile, and she can't watch a film without like taking it apart and critiquing it. So films like that where you kind of have to just shut off.
Well, no, but the fair criticism of that film is on what it is intending to be. It's a two giant monsters fight each other thing. If you're expecting that the film is going to be Citizen Kane, then you're missing the whole point of the film.
Yeah, no. Right? And that's that's true.
Yeah, because it just.
But it is fair to say that for some people, all they want to watch is Citizen Kane, not.
Oh no, and that's a totally different thing. Like that is subjective taste is different from critical analysis. Critically analyzing a film with using objective measures or allegedly objective measures that the film was never intended to meet is just is applying a subjective assessment to a film, to something that's purported to be objective. So it's not what the film's intended to be.
What if Citizen Kane was both King Kong and Godzilla?
Orson Welles would be a whole lot more fit doing all the mocap stunts.
Orson Welles was really fit as a young guy.
Yeah, but then he discovered food. And...
Yes.
That's all right. Man. You just get Jack Black to sub, because he actually looks like a young Orson Welles.
Mm-hmm. Hold on here.
Anybody see that? Anybody see that Rampage movie with the white albino giant monkey?
I did not.
I did not see that.
It was great.
Is that supposed to be based on the Rampage video game?
Yeah. Yeah.
The giant monkey is a sarcastic a-hole, and I love it.
All right.
Remind me of your hawk.
So
smash building.
Yeah, asshole.
Oh, a bit like the giant gorilla in Flash.
Grodd.
Grodd, yes.
Yeah. All right, so guys, what you can find. Sorry, I appreciate you filling time while I'm looking up what I needed. You are not surprised by this. Let me roll for surprise. It is surprised. So, I think what you see, guys, is, and let's do another, John, would you give us another D5 roll?
Sure.
Let's see who spots this. 3. Mo. So Tom passes this, or sees this. You guys are making your way along. This would be, is it the afternoon or the evening? Let's see here. This would be early morning. So as you guys are setting off, what you can see, Mo, or Tom, off to the east is there is a skiff. It's 2 to 4. All right, of a fairly large iceberg that you can see off in to the, we'll say, the west, and because of the clear sky, you can very easily see this. And at first, you think it is smaller than what it actually is because of the thing standing on it. There is a bluish-skinned humanoid creature that seems to make it look like a very small chunk of ice. And then you see near its ankles there are a bunch of chained, pale white-skinned creatures. They look like kind of a hideous combining or blending of man and deep sea fish, with much more contribution from the fish. Kind of leading along. Those things, which appear to be man-sized, barely come up to the blue-skinned humanoid's ankle. what's standing on this thing would dwarf a frost giant.
Is it a storm giant?
And there are two of them you see walk from around the side of the iceberg. There is a second one. And they seem to be, what's happening is these things are plunging down, the chain creatures are plunging down into the blackened water. And they don't seem to notice you. They are probably about a half mile off at this point.
Oh, I'm totally feeling my God of War vibe right now.
So, Tom, you're the only one who sees this thus far. What do you do? They do not seem to have noticed you yet.
We're presumably flying quite close together. I shall indicate and point at them.
So you guys, there's a whistle. You guys all get the attention. You look over, and what you see is as the line of things are plunging into the water, one of the massive blue-skinned creatures just steps off of the iceberg and plunges underneath the water. And the other one continues to, like, it bellows. Those of you who did not look over now, it bellows at the chained line of things that's slowly getting shorter as they're disappearing beneath the waves. And Lex flies higher. Yeah, what do the rest of you guys do?
Yeah, I'm gaining some height here.
Okay. Fortunately, you guys were not surprised by them, so you arc off. And the last thing you see is the last, any of you who happen to look back, the last of the little specks of those tiny things disappears beneath the waves until finally the one that waited behind, likewise, and you see when it drops off, the whole iceberg kind of shifts ever so slightly and bobs back and forth as his weight is displaced.
Anybody know what those things were?
Cola?
I mean, unless there's some like local legends about these things, I don't know if I would know it.
Does anyone other than Gorwin have ancient history?
No.
Then Gorwin, give us an ancient history check, please.
All right. Hey.
So what you knew
Not
is...
as good as I knew about the dragons, but you know, you can't expect me to
what
know
you know is,
everything
yeah,
that
there
happens.
are different varieties of, like back in, and this is legends dating back to, you know, ancient suggestions. The ancient elven texts say that, like, before the coming of the elves, there was there was, of course, the empire of the giants, and the different varieties of giants that can be found in Faerun today dates back to different castes among them. And in days of yore, those titanic blue-skinned things would be among the kings and queens of their kind. And unlike the elves, who have purportedly, at least an egalitarian kind of, you know, the wisest and whatnot are their kings and queens, amongst the giants, it was power. So these things would be phenomenally powerful. Certainly more so, and much more directly connected to the elemental forces than what, say, lowly hill giants or even frost giants would be. So,
Guys, let me tell you about this ancient elvish text by a guy named Aldous Huxley, where everybody is divided into a caste, and based on how tall you are, you get, you know, put into your position in society. These guys are the tallest, so they got to be the kings, and therefore, you know, ruled over the giant kind.
all right, so that is what happens in the... you also encounter another pod of, I think, beluga whales. Partway through the day. Fortunately, nothing drags them beneath the things, but it's you know, throughout your day, it is a reminder of the teeming life that exists below the waves here too, in spite of the harsh conditions, in spite of the things. But you do feel like you made a good day's progress towards the actual coastline too. So, with that day, I'm very glad you guys elected to not engage it. It has almost 2.5 times the hit dice of anything you have faced in the game thus far. So, with that...
It probably has, like, horrific breath weapons or giant
Magic.
ancient magic swords or
reached
all
over
sorts
and
of terrible things.
Just reached over,
with those
snapped
high
off the
hit
top of the
die.
iceberg, and just thrown it at.
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Killed.
Yeah, they can throw
Yeah.
incredibly far too. That was one of the most disappointing things about those Ettins from last night. Is Ettins don't have they don't throw rocks because that's really what they were going to do. Otherwise, is hang back, throw rocks at you guys until you came and engaged them. Fortunately, so you guys do find yourself. I think Gorwin, maybe you're telling what little you know about the kings of the giants of old over your dinner, and the evening passes uneventfully, guys. So, cross off another day's worth of firewood. And, Weatherman, would you mind?
We're keeping track of that on a party thing, right? We
Yep.
stopped doing every individual.
Yep.
Party rations at Sky Tower Shelter.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay.
Because I realized I've got some rations on my sheet still, but I haven't been doing anything with them since I wasn't here last time. So.
Yeah. I think you guys have been keeping those as emergency rations. So then, next day, so Weatherman, would you mind giving us a forecast?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I know what the weather's going to be like based on the clouds. and
Sure.
stuff.
Yep.
Gotta-
So you'll have
Okay, I do.
forewarning here.
Just 'cause I don't want us to fly out into.
Yep. Wind's going to be a little worse. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's go to Frostburn.
Hurricane.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. It might be bad weather today.
98% on the weather, on the temperature change. That might not be good.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been doing some kind of weird weaving while we've been playing, making a chain necklace. It started off gold, and then I have a pile of gold, orange, and red, and I'm kind of randomly picking them in the middle and trying to make it look like randomized red, gold, and orange for like fire. Actually looks pretty good.
Nice.
Fire chain, we'll call it.
Absolutely. So, Lex, one of the, and this is a huge thank you to George for this because I know he wrote this part of the book.
Thanks, Rob.
What you know, Lex, is there is a, and I guess like Lex is just on the cusp of getting priest spells, right? He's one more, so you're getting very close to actually having a connection with Myliki, right? Like you're almost ready to reach the point where your goddess will begin actually speaking to you, and this is maybe a precursor of it. And what you can feel is there just is, when that you get that like that knot or that sinking feeling in your stomach where you just like something is going to end up wrong, like something bad is about to happen. There is a supernatural disquiet that takes over you. When you guys are kind of laughing around the campfire and Gorwin is talking about the giants and you guys talk about those beautiful white beluga whales that you guys saw just as you were making down camp, we can see Lex on the edge of sort of the ice skiff looking to the north, and there is definitely something foul that is coming. Would you give us you already made your weather sense roll, so I'm going to let you. So there is said to be something called the Howl of the North. And what this is it is not it is not just a euphemism. It is a spirit-numbing disquiet that comes from it's basically imagine like a hymn sung to the bitch queen Auril by those unfortunate souls who have frozen to death. The Cold Light
I have
Walkers.
to ask, did you intentionally say the bitch queen, or did you mean the witch queen?
I meant the bitch queen because that's actually what they called her as well.
Ah,
Yeah, there's a difference. The Witch Queen is the woman who is the avatar of that. The Bitch Queen is Auril herself. This is not the avatar's
I
thing.
thought it was just a great Freudian slip.
No, intentional. The what this is yeah, you know how the cold light walkers are manifestations of her power, but they say nothing? It's said that their voices are culled and then can be sometimes found passing through some of the more remote regions. And the fact that this is coming as you are retreating or having a stage retreat from her abode, that almost feels like she is following you. That is what's coming tomorrow, Lex. Is the howl of the north.
So I relay this to the rest of the group, and we better get prepared because this does not bode well.
Now the weather.
Somewhere is there a cave we could hold up?
Oh, whoa! It's a cave.
I mean, this is it's a ice skiff, so you know the wind. It is the howl of the north is not a windstorm. Like you guys, it'll be windy tomorrow, but it's not going to be that bad. It is more the what you will hear carried on the wind tomorrow will be the howls of those who froze. It is the utter despair of dying simultaneously of hunger and breaking of spirit and cold. So, both you and your mounts are likely to be affected by this. Now, Lex, you've got survival, right?
I don't think so, actually.
Falcarel, do you have survival?
I do.
Why don't you give us a survival roll? Let's see if you've got any insight as to how to... Nat 20.
I have no insights to offer.
So you know what?
Horrible, Lex.
You have your ring that makes you immune to
Charm and fear effects.
charm and fear effects. It does not prevent you from feeling fear. And I think that the one thing that all of you rangers, the one thing you respect is that one of the biggest dangers of being out in the wilderness is the breaking of the spirit. The isolation, the need to rely on oneself, all of that stuff can break some people. The vastness of those empty and open spaces and the harshness of the terrain can sometimes be too much for someone to handle, and that can be the thing that leads to someone's death as much as what eating the wrong thing or what getting your foot stuck in something or whatever. Falcarel, this is the moment where I don't know why, but it seems like that's hit you. The realization of all of this stuff is like it has hit you that you know. Having faced the dragon, you weren't scared of that. Having faced the frost giant, you weren't scared of that. What your role tells me now is that it may be something as banal as having everyone's spirit broken. That may be the thing that kills you all. And it also makes you realize that Auril has much more insidious weapons at her disposal than dragons or giants or foul weather. So how do we see this manifest with Falcarel?
He just kind of, his face kind of slowly goes pale, and he looks around and says, "Things like this could just kill us as easily as a dragon could. I would not want to face it. I'd suggest none of us do that."
How do we?
Can we outrun it?
How do we shield ourselves from this? No, it will overtake us tomorrow.
If we have some spells, to bolster ourselves, our courage, it might help.
I think the Nat 20 tells me that you think there's nothing.
Okay. He says, other than the grace of the gods, I don't see a way.
Then by the grace of the gods it will be.
And this is, Falcarel has always been he's a religious character as well, too, so he's quite determined and whatnot, too. This is, I think, the first time you guys are seeing a crack in that overconfident facade. I mean, facade is suggests it's not based on anything. This is the thing where like, there's a flicker of doubt in him.
Is
it's
is
almost
this
like a crack in the faith.
Yeah.
okay? So is this isn't like strictly speaking like fear?
No,
Well, it's not.
It's kind of like
his ring doesn't make him immune to fear. His ring makes him immune to.
yeah. It's
And I
like
What this
Right.
is.
I'm seeing what I mean is what I'm asking. I guess is this is not Falcarol is not affected by a condition of fear
No.
right now.
No, definitely not.
That I could like remove.
What he's recognized is that you guys are in arguably one of the most inhospitable places you could possibly be anywhere in the Forgotten Realms. And on top of that, now you have a thing that he's never even heard of, a supernatural, effectively curse of a goddess against which you don't appear to have any defenses, or at least Falcarol can't come up with any.
he feels isolated from his god this far out here.
Yeah.
So
You're so far into her domain and not Solinar's domain, right?
yeah.
So,
Maybe it's partly because of the healing not going as well as it normally
Yeah.
would, and it's just like all compounding or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is where the, you've, because of the wind and whatnot too, you've had Asshole kind of, close to you as well too. I think it sort of, it would sort of, whatever way that Asshole shows affection, the little amount it does, it is, in the way that a pet notices when there's a change in its owner's demeanor.
So
Friend Falcarol, what do you hold to? What can I do?
One thing I will say, this is all based on a successful weather sense roll from the day before. So you guys
Right.
have a full night and you can prep spells and whatnot in response to this.
Falcon just says we're just gonna have to stick close and watch out for each other.
I mean, could we have a really good slap-up meal, and we've got the ring effectively? Would having a we're just not new friends, is it? But I was just thinking whether something that ring could help us with.
The ring of Berenor is pretty low. I've only got 2 charges. I could use it to remove fear, but that's why I was asking. But I can't. That won't help us here. There is nothing really on here though. That there's no bolster morale or anything on here. There's continual light, remove curse maybe, but I don't, and that's going to take some time. To a point of order though, Tom, talking about meeting new people and inviting. The original notes for the ring do say it regains 1 charge per day if you share a meal over a hearth or fire with family or found family. So that first bit with family, it seems to me by that interpretation, or there is an interpretation anyway, but we could say technically anytime we, as a found family that have been traveling together, share a meal over a fire, there would be at least a chance. If not, then I'm totally happy with that too. But there's a chance that the ring could regain a charge. You know what? You know what? I mean,
Ouch.
I'm gonna get you all killed.
So I have an
Wow,
idea.
that's pretty harsh, Madison.
I have an idea.
0-2 so far.
For those listening at home, I just wrote, he is going to kill you all. That's how he treats his family.
Bloody heck.
In case
Yes, actually.
So you are right. What it is, it just needs to be a significant meal. It needs to be something that is, you guys sitting around a campfire eating the meager stuff that comes from a create food and water spell. That's not going to be sufficient to count as that.
We need to we need to take time to,
But if you,
to find some food, prepare it, and
if you had even if you made a point of having we're going to drink to whatever else and say fuck Alrel, and break into that cask that we were carrying around on Alehead. That's a not just a general sitting around having a meal, eating food.
Yeah.
That is having a meal with each other.
I think I'm gonna prep ceremony in the morning. We'll make a ritual out of it.
Okay.
So I have an idea. My magic longsword, one of its abilities is it says that for 1 turn can mimic someone else's voice perfectly. I have some questions about that. The first is, I assume that means that I can only I get basically like one person for the whole turn and can't like switch between people for the course of the turn.
That's all right. It's all right.
Because while that would be cool, that seems like that's sort of breaking the spirit of the thing. And I assume by mimic that I have to have like heard the person before. I can't just like pick a person who exists and instantly be able to talk like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the only person that I didn't even meet Cola's mom, so I couldn't do that. But I was thinking if there's somebody significant to Falkirl that I've met that I could mimic the voice and say some calming words, but I don't know if there's anybody particular that I would have met that would help with that.
Falkirl,
the other idea I had was just kind of think of like the most charismatic of the Goliath chieftains who have the sort of commanding presence and try to mimic that voice and say some, because Gorwin is not himself a particularly inspiring speaker most of the time, but that he could, use the spellblade to have a turn of speaking like a charismatic leader essentially, and that might help raise everybody's spirits a little bit. But I don't know who I would do, because there's not that many characters that fit that description, and it feels like it would be kind of bad to use Barrack Hammerstone as the...
Lex is like, if only Storm were here, he'd know what to say.
That's a good point. Store does always seem to know what to say.
He does have that 18 charisma.
All right. Here's what I'm going to do. So Gorwin, we're sort of sitting around the fire, eating our meager rations or our create food and water or whatever it is that we had. Or did we do create food and water, or are we on rations still?
Cola's doing it for the people. I'm doing it for the animals.
All right. So we are eating tasteless hardtack and gruel, I guess, but it keeps you full. So Gorwin will sort of finish his, and he'll take the sword and kind of unbuckle the belt and kind of lay the sword and the hilt across his lap, and he kind of grips the hilt with his right hand and the sheath with his left, and you can sort of feel there's a sort of shifting of the wind almost around him, and you can feel him. He sort of sits up straighter, and when he speaks, it is with Store's voice. He doesn't have Store's kind of natural good looks and all of that other stuff, but it sounds like Store, so hopefully it'll make you guys feel like we're being led by our charismatic leader who isn't here. And he says, we all knew the risks going this far from charted lands and out into the sea of trackless ice. You know me, I have had successes and failures, gambling away fortunes, winning them just as often. But life is not a fortune to be won or lost. It is precious, but it is precious because it is spent dearly. If this is our end, then that is what fate has in store for us, but I do not believe that this is the fate that awaits us all. I believe, and I believe that you all believe deep down, that we're going to make it out of this no matter what Arl throws at us. And that's the end of Gorwin's speech.
Okay. And then I guess at the end of that, and
then he sort of shoulders slump back down, and he sort of sets the sword aside, and he says back in his voice, all right, guys, are we feeling better?
I think there's sort of like maybe... Well, you guys tell me, how do you guys think you're going to react to that? Is that inspiring, or is it kind of...
Yeah, it wasn't quite as inspiring as it could have been.
No.
but Gorwin's
That
not.
was terrific. Like the
No,
Yeah,
that was
it was
great.
great.
Yeah.
yeah, that's it's not
Trying to
that.
figure out-
But what I'm thinking is it's sort of the you know, like the kind of uncomfortable kind of like holy shit kind of laughter that can kind of come not in response to something humorous, but can kind of just like because your spirits are heartened. It's almost like you were intentionally trying to do an impression of Store too, so it is heartening, but in the way of like, I'm trying to think what the analogy is. That kind of like Jesus Christ, I
Yeah.
can't believe that just happened kind of thing.
Mhm.
You know?
Well, especially since I don't think any of us have ever used the power on this sword before like this. And
No. You know,
Yeah.
and it's so they're the surprise and the heartening
Yeah.
part of it, and also the fact that you're going back to this very studious, non-combatant elf afterwards too. It's sort of like, you know, maybe one of you guys starts kind of chuckling about it, and you all start laughing, and Gorwin likely joins in because they're not laughing at you.
Mhm.
They're laughing with the spirit of the you know the like
Yeah.
that old guy. Come on, let's take a story. You know, kind
I
of.
think Kola might look up, hands clasped over his knees as he's leaning forward towards the fire, and and before he looks over at you, he'll yeah, you know, I think you forgot a swear word or two in there. But I look up, but that was damn good.
Thomas will take a drink and say, yeah, "Fuck yeah, screw you."
He throws the horns up, Carl style. Yeah, or Will. Or you, Falcarol, does that make a difference in the sort of hopelessness that you were feeling?
I think it starts to melt that little sliver of coal that worked his way into his heart. And he nods and says, I will not dwell on it until it happens.
And then
Thank you, Gorwin.
Falcar, you're sort of pushed
Could I-
forward. And you realize that Silverbeak has made its way over too, and it's sort of like nudging you, like, hey. I think it seems to have noticed that you've had a change in your temperament as well.
That actually causes him to smile, and he just turns around and starts patting Silverbeak's beak. And
you guys realize that all of the Griffins, now that you guys have spent, about a month with them, you all sort of, they've all moved in. They can sense the change in the mood, so they've clustered around almost as if like they were, like, putting themselves in rank behind each of you.
There's two things I'd like to do. Is one, I wanted to reach over to Falcarol and say, well, no, actually, I'll do this first. I'm going to lean back to Bastard as he nuzzles his head or whatever. I look back and say, I was nervous around you. It's not natural, dwarves in the air. But you're a solid one, and undeserving of the flippant and dismissive name I've given you. You've been a good companion, and you've gotten me out of a couple scrapes already. Taking off into the winds like you did the other day, that was something. What do you think about Stormwing for a name?
So
I'm asking the creature. I don't know if it's going to respond or not.
it sort of it shakes, and then it knocks you, but I think it knocks you like really high on your center of gravity, so you kind of and after you hit the ground on your butt, it kind of happily shakes all of its fur from the tip of its beak all the way back to its last tail, and its tail is swishing quite happily. The rangers in the party can tell you that it's pleased with that.
It proves,
Then-
Okola.
Then Stormwing you are. And I'll turn to Falcro and I say, friend, I know that this place can be devastatingly isolating. That this place can imbue on you a sense of despair and longing, and as if everything is just too big and too much. I suppose I don't always think about it because as much as I've traveled the world, this is home, and ultimately this is familiar to me. And I need to remember that for others, this is hell.
Wow.
But if you can trust me to know that I'm comfortable here and I feel safe, more or less, when we're not fighting giants and dragons. But I don't know that you'd ever be able to consider a place like this home. But you are with us, you're with friends, and that, to some extent or another, is a piece of home, surely. If that helps, then take comfort in that, and take safety and security in that, and hold on to it.
Falkrul, he nods and says, "Thank you for that, Kola. I came to Icewind Dale to call it home, at the calling of my god, and it is nice to have friends to help make that transition easier."
Then consider yourself crossing my threshold into my home, and consider yourself part of it.
Okay. Anyone have anything else to add at the campfire?
Yeah, something Cola just said about home has me thinking about Neverwinter and how I thought I missed it. And I sort of do. Certainly is a hell of a lot warmer, but I didn't have you guys back there. You know, and people I knew, people I grew up with, but nobody I'd bled with and nobody I'd died beside. So, yeah, I don't think what Store told us just now is that far off either. You know, this isn't our end. We'll get through tomorrow. We've gotten through worse. So, you know, if it helps you to think of home, or if it helps you to think of the family that you're surrounded with, whatever we have to face tomorrow, we do it together.
So,
After all,
anyone else have anything to add?
all of you are the only family that I have left, so that means a lot to me.
Well, I thought about using Barrick's voice, but I decided that would probably go over bad.
Just everyone breaks out laughing. So, I think,
Memories.
guys, that is 5 excellent examples of impromptu role-playing, which I think will restore 5 charges to the ring. Baranar seems to really be approving of this as well, too. Though, let's see here. Who's got religion as a proficiency?
Let's see.
I mean,
I
go
do.
figure.
Both you
kind
guys
of a-
give us
kind
a
of a prerequisite.
religion check here.
All right.
Oh,
Nat 20. Valkyrie, oh god! This is wonderful, because this is the...
we got 5 points of astonishing fortune, and we only got like a couple minutes left.
Yeah, you can re-roll that.
well, I'm kind of interested in leaving the dice as it rolls there, because I don't know much about Baranar or
Dude,
Fair.
So
Fair.
here's-
this
here's
is my
what-
pantheon after all.
What happens? You actually see the ring. It gives off that wonderful glow, and you can see the runes, the dwarven runes on the ring glow. You know, and it seems to stay that way, like a warming kind of, you know, a warming light from it. But that's when you hear sort of the crack of thunder outside, and Falcro, you're the only one who hears this. And you, Sparrow, look back, and you can't help but think of something that you had heard before. And that was... Oh, what's going on here? That was something that one of the others had mentioned, where the more that the gods intervene in the Icewind Dale, the easier it becomes for other gods to exercise their full power. And with that, we'll bring our session to a close, guys. So, then...
that causes Falkrul's that little splinter of coal in his heart to just deepen just slightly.
Yeah. So, the... Juan, you realize that, I mean, geez, there may be a holy conflict coming. You know?
It's gonna galvanize his intentions. He's actually gonna try to do a blessing ceremony in the morning. Just try to call on Solinor's spirit to kind of ward us. But
Well, we'll see what that happens in next time. We're ending on a down note. So, let's see here, guys. XP. Let me get my thing here. Now, those of you who are warriors, you are going to be able to count 6 hit dice of adversaries that you have defeated today. And... okay. How many points of Astonishing Fortune are left?
All 5.
All 5 are left. Okay, great. Okay, so let's do this.
Great.
Plus 5, and there's 5 of you. Okay, it's 250. And there was some terrific role-playing on display today, so we're going to give some XP for that as well. Divided by 5. All right, so, guys, today, you guys will be walking away with 950 XP. That's 950. Has anyone... put anyone into the ding-a-ling zone? No?
Choice of words.
Yeah, really. Phrasing.
Phrasing.
All right.
I'm getting closer.
Excellent.
Getting closer. I need like 18,000.
Yeah. Once elected
is-
at 8th level,
no.
he gets spells.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Well, that's what his feeling about this Howl of the North. So I'll have to see what that is next session as well, too. All right, then, guys. With that, we will bring this session. Next session is session 70. Guys, so for those listening at home, as is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and we will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. You can also find me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, and me by email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. You can also find a link in the description of the video to the Dungeon Musings Discord server. We have channels there dedicated to this campaign, this game, and every other campaign we run on the channel, as well as different... if only you killed that dragon, yeah. That could have gone a different way as well. You can also find channels that are like for finding a group, for setting up virtual tabletops, for discussing other games. So lots of great stuff. Convention chat is there as well. Lots of different topics, lots of different channels, and lots of great people as well. You are more than welcome to join us over there. In addition, there's a link in the video to description of the video to something called Heroes Save Villages. That's the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. I'm telling them, Anna. And that benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really great organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children. And for every $25 Canadian that is donated between now and August 1st, you get one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. The grand prize is a copy of Beadle and Grimm's Legendary Edition Curse of Strahd, a very, very cool lacquered black box and tube of maps that has the full Curse of Strahd adventure in it, as well as a bunch of extra cool stuff. We recently made use of that in a one-shot as well, too. My favorite thing, of course, is the puppets that come with it. But not everyone prioritizes that. The amulet of Ravenkind that comes in it, that is a beautiful photo accurate or a text accurate recreation of the classic magic item from the original Ravenloft adventure, is a pretty freaking cool addition to it. But there's a ton of great stuff in there, and the very, very generous folks at Beadle and Grimm have donated a copy of that for us to raffle off. In addition, if you don't win that, there's still going to be a bunch of other prizes, including some great stuff from the Dungeon Musings Redbubble shop. If you did win a prize in our recent raffle, too, I'll be taking care of that stuff this weekend. I have unfortunately been under quarantine, so I haven't had a chance to get to email, or to mail, rather, the materials out, but by midweek I'll be able to get out of quarantine, and then I will be mailing off the prizes to the people who have responded thus far. In addition, every donation goes directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to us. None of it goes to any other middleman. It just goes to help those kids. So you get a chance to win some cool gaming prizes, and you get a chance to help out some kids who could really use some help. Last thing I'll say is that you also get a chance to vote on what games we will be playing in our charity sessions, and you get a chance to spend that money that you donate to help outfit our heroes to face the challenges that I will throw at them. So, last thing I'm going to say, though, is a huge thank you to our players. Guys, what a terrific... I can't believe so much happened today in the short 3 hours that we played. So, hi, Anna. Anna thinks you guys were terrific, too. So, Andrew, Arlen, Mo, John, and Dave, thank you so much for playing today, guys. This was a really, really fun session.
Yes.
Then, until we see you guys again, for those listening at home, if you're joining us during the current crisis, the reason we kicked off this campaign in the first place, we do hope... Okay, so just when he logs in, tell him that we're arriving in Candlekeep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that this finds you healthy, safe, and weathering the current crisis as well as can be expected. We hope that you had... we gave you a couple of hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that beset our Icewind Dale heroes. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.